Okay. So now we gotta wait and see if anybody shows.
Uh, Go ahead. I just want to make sure that the thing is. I don't know what the heck could have happened there,
Well,
because that's frustrating. And yeah, I know. I've never had that happen
yeah.
where
Hey, Alpha Trion.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what
I don't
happened
know what
there.
happened.
It just shut down. So David's doing the final stuff on it, and hopefully we can get back on track. We lost it there for a minute, but
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
yeah.
I've never had that happen with this before.
Okay. So
That's
everybody's
annoying.
back. Yeah, sorry about that. But we're gonna keep going. I'm
Yeah.
glad y'all were able to find us again. We had to start all over, start a whole new thing.
Yeah,
So
it wouldn't let us reopen the original link.
yeah. Yes,
So
we are back. John, KO, Stone Sour, David found us again, and Pete found us again. William Randall is here. Hey, William Randall. And Josh is still free. Yes, for now, we are still free. Put a like on your cat short while we were down. Thank you,
oh,
K
thank you.
Munin.
But
And
yeah,
then Johnny's back. So we got
as
our
a
group
lot of
back.
yeah, we're getting there
Yeah,
because I know that it was like more than 30 people watching, and it
yeah,
was just suddenly we're just off, and it's like
yeah.
wow, what the hell?
But anyway, we
Hmm.
were talking about those dying franchises.
Yeah. Hey, Elite Action.
Hey, Elite Action. But yeah, so right now we're watching The Flash from the when did
It's
that
like
come
the
out? The
30. This is
30s.
like the episode by episode shorts, not or shorts, serials, not the actual like continuation shorts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of lame. We haven't seen Ming yet, and we've been watching for a while. But it's cheesy and lame. You know how those serials are
Hmm.
when you went to the movies during the 30s just to fill in the gaps. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, Johnny, we've seen the mama cat. Hey, Barton, how are you?
Yeah, she's very feral.
Feral,
She's
yeah.
very feral, but doesn't seem to mind me going and messing with.
Ah,
He found them up at soundtrack on vinyl. Yeah, Rainbow Connection, right? Um, doesn't mind me going over there and messing with him. Hasn't moved him, so yeah, John, maybe. I don't know what that was about because I've never had
hey,
that
John.
happen. Never had that happen before. And Munin says,
The-
speaking of dying
oh,
franchise, oh,
yeah,
that's what they were asking.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we were talking
I
about.
think they've already been killed, and I
Mm,
think that what they need to do is leave them alone for a while
yeah,
before they revisit them
yeah.
instead of pounding them out, because they're talking about making a new Star Wars film now.
Are you serious?
Yes, and I'm like, they haven't made one in a few years.
Yeah, I've
Maybe
been seeing that.
maybe not, but they've been cranking out the shows nonstop.
Yeah, the TV
It's the
shows.
same difference. You're still putting out material and you haven't given it a break. And the material has been very hit or miss. You have one good episode, one bad episode, one good episode, one bad episode. It's too much.
Well, Marvel is feeling real good right now because everything you hear about that X-Men 97 has been good and positive.
Mhm.
People are loving it, but it's an animated show.
Yeah.
It's not a live action. So
It proves they can do it if they want to.
yeah, because they did a good job from my understanding on that Moon Knight. You remember the was it Moon Knight? Then and it had a man thing in it.
Werewolf by
Werewolf
Night.
by Night. That's what it was. Werewolf by Night.
Hmm.
I've only heard good things about that,
Hmm.
and it was set up to do more, but they haven't done anything with that. Now you're hearing all good things about X-Men 97. So, but yeah, I think you're right. I think if they would just drop it, let it sit for a while, a couple of years maybe,
Yeah.
and just let people miss it.
Yeah, because you tamper with a legacy too much and you ruin it. They've done it to Star Trek. They've done it to Doctor Who. Just leave it alone for a while.
Yeah.
You've ruined it, and there's nothing with that in fresh in people's memory. Even if you come out with something good, they're still going to pan it because they're still pissed off about what you've been doing. Give it a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
You know?
And then we saw the trailer for the new Superman. And they showed you, like the first photo. Well, not the trailer, the first photo, where Superman is sitting on a chair, putting on his boots.
Oh God, and people have been tearing that one apart because he looks so miserable. My favorite one. There's a couple of good memes from that. My favorite one is where they have photoshopped him to Al Bundy's shoe store, and he's sitting. Al Bundy is sitting there with his head in his hands, and Superman's pulling the boot on. I was like, oh, that's just perfect.
Yeah, and then they oh gosh, I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, they're doing the Superman.
Yeah, again.
So that's coming up.
Just give it a chance to breathe. McNichol says they sold most of their Marvel Legends off. Just have Galactus left. I'm glad to finally leave the Legends. It got too overwhelming for you. Hey, that's been happening a lot with a lot of the modern franchises, the Star Wars Black series, a lot of the wrestlers, the Funko Pops. People reach a threshold, and they're just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, Johnny hasn't seen anything from Star Wars since the girl.
Yeah,
the one with that girl on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new Superman movie. And we've even seen some things. Well, like I said, they showed the first photo, I guess they call it, and Superman is a new guy playing Superman. He got on a different outfit. He's sitting on a chair. You can see Metropolis behind him burning down. And he's putting on his boots, looking worn out and tired.
Here we go again. Yeah.
So, you got that. And I don't know, movies by itself is just starting to get
excited to see absolutely nothing at this point. I don't even care. And I've heard, people saying, oh, the new, what do you think of the new Planet of the Apes movie? I haven't seen it, probably not going to.
I'll watch it if it's on a free streaming service, a service that we have. I'll watch it, but to say, oh, let's go to the movies and see the new Planet, no.
I saw the first of the new franchise. I didn't really care for it. I didn't think it was that great. I was just like, ugh, I don't know about this. And still to this date, the only incarnation of Planet of the Apes that, to my understanding, has been close to the book was the 1974 Saturday morning cartoon.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Nobody else has come close. So it's like,
came Muni went to Walmart for some groceries and saw that all of the Marvel Legends were removed from the shelves.
They're replanogramming.
And replaced it with Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, they're taking down a lot of figures in our Walmart too. I bought some Hasbro Marvel Legend figures. They are either good, mediocre, or bad. Very inconsistent.
Yeah, that was the impression that I got. I'm not a Marvel Legends collector, but I did get the HasLab Galactus, and I did an unboxing and review of it. And my impression of it was I liked the Galactus, but the bonus figures I thought were crap. I thought they were just poorly thought out and poorly put together.
I didn't hear that about how she's pregnant with Galactus, baby. I heard that it was a Silver Surfer, but it was like what, his wife or girlfriend or something? Not that she is Silver Surfer, but like a girlfriend, and she's somebody that was in the comics. I don't know. I never read it, but I saw a video and they were explaining.
Because that's the argument, and that's the argument from people who don't understand the comics history. Everybody's like, oh, how can you sit there and say that Silver Surfer is a girl? There's been a female Silver Surfer in comics. Yeah, for 3 issues in 2012. there was a female Silver Surfer where they did a what if scenario that it was Silver Surfer's wife as opposed to, or Norrin Rad's wife, instead of him, that made the deal with Galactus. And it's like, that hardly counts. Everybody, even people that don't read Marvel Comics, know who the hell Silver Surfer is. So that's a big okey doke for a lot of fans of that sort of thing. It's unnecessary, and again, it's too soon. You're blowing it with the Marvel films.
Yeah.
You've been blowing it since Endgame. Stop. Just stop and just reevaluate what you're doing. You haven't gotten a film right since. And even Endgame to me was kind of wonky. I had issues with that film. I didn't think it was as good as the other ones in the franchise. Just slow down and wait. And as far as Fantastic Four, how many attempts have been made to do a Fantastic Four film and they still can't get it right? It's been done over and over. Oh, Hank is here.
Grilling some steaks.
No grilling down here. But
yeah, must be talking about the Black Series. Some figures literally have nothing.
Yeah, they don't anymore. They've been cutting corners with that. And Eric says, for their money, Christopher Reeve nailed it. For all the actors who played him and just never was able to accomplish the complex personality. And there's something to be said for that too. Christopher Reeve was actually a really good actor. And if you really want to get an impression of it, if you go back to the original film, the first film, what was it, 1978? Watch his facial expressions. Watch the gambit of expressions when the kryptonite rock comes out. When he opens up the lead box and it's kryptonite, and then he feels pain for the very first time in his life, and look at the panic in his face, and it's like, damn, he knows what he's doing.
We've seen a lot of movies with him, not Superman, and yeah, he is a good actor. That one, God, what's the name of it? The one where he went back in time?
A Stitch in Time or something like that?
Yeah, I think A Stitch in Time or something about some time.
Yeah,
where he went back in time to meet this girl, and they fell in love and all kinds of stuff, and then he dies at the end. And man, you're just like, Lee, this is a heartbreaking, depressing film.
Yeah, and he goes to pieces. He looked like he had a nervous breakdown on camera.
Yeah, he looked like he died for real.
And then I've seen him in things where he's eating, and that may seem insignificant to a lot of people, but there are actors, they cannot function and remember what they're supposed to do if they're eating at the same time. And he's sitting there having breakfast, eating the whole meal and doing his lines. That actually takes some skill to stay focused while you're doing something casual like that in any acting scenario. Johnny says theaters are showing Blazing Saddles in September, 50th anniversary. You think it'll be edited? I don't know because by today's standards, it's pretty racy. Oh, R. Joseph Grundy. But there's some interesting trivia from Blazing Saddles. There is a part that was cut because who was his name? Mel Brooks.
Yeah, I bought his a box set with a bunch of his movies in it, so I'm excited about seeing that because I want to see. I've seen a lot of his movies, but I want to have the collection on DVD because I haven't seen all, but I have seen a lot. Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. The Mel Brooks was very adamant about not changing anything in that film because he wanted it to offend people to get the conversations going. Yeah, but there was one scene that was edited where they did cut the rest of the scene, and it's the scene where the German girl, the dancer, is in the room with the sheriff, and the lights go out, right? And then she goes, "Oh, it's Twoo, it's Twoo, it's Willie Twoo." You all remember that scene?
No.
There's more to that scene. The lights go out, black sheriff, the stereotype about, whatever. And she's saying it's Twoo because he's supposed to be big, is the implication. The next line in that scene is him speaking again in the dark. "Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm, man, but you're sucking on my arm." and they absolutely refuse to let that run. and he had to cut that part out.
K-Munist spotted those mini pops $15 before taxes.
Really, I still haven't seen it, but I'm not looking that hard, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I don't know. Yeah, why? I don't know why they do that. They got to switch up genders. They got to switch up races.
Yeah,
They got to switch up people. If they were a disabled character, now they can't be disabled anymore. If they were midgets, they can't be midgets anymore. It just getting ridiculous. And now, and I've said this before, now that I'm actually reading the comic books, I see why people get upset when they change the characters, because you read the comics and they take their time to develop these characters in the comics.
yeah,
They give them a personality, an identity. They describe them. You see the pictures of them. So you kind of get to know them. And then you get to the movie and you're like, that's not who
what happened?
the character
Yeah.
is. And I can see why you get upset, because at first, before I started actually reading the comics, I couldn't understand why people were so upset. So what? They changed them. So what? So
Yeah,
what? But now
you get invested in the personalities.
yeah, you do. You get invested. Not only, you buy the books, you take your time, you read them. Then the author or the creator took the time to think of these characters. The artist drew the characters a certain way. The writer wrote the character a certain way. They put all this time, all this energy into building this character, and for years. And then in the matter of one movie, 50 years later, 80 years later, it's destroyed.
Yeah, just like that.
These said Superman, since Superman 2.
Well, 1 and 2 were written to go together. It was like
Mm.
really one continuous script. And he likes Planet of the Apes.
Beneath the Planet of
Yeah.
the Apes, Escape from the Planet
Yeah,
of
that's
the
the
Apes.
first
The
the
first
first
three.
run.
Oh, Endgame was too
Too
long.
Yeah, and they shoehorned a couple of agenda things in there that just didn't fit. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah, well, yeah, it
You
is
could
kind
jump
of.
ahead a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because and
Yeah.
Dama answers that somewhere in time. Thank
time. Yeah, that was a good movie. And of course, how I talk so much. I got way
You. It's
behind.
okay.
So I'm gonna just skip through some of the comments because I got behind. Oh, it's not too bad now. I think I'm
Okay.
caught up. I'm very optimistic to see James Gunn with the DCU, but afraid at the same time. Yeah,
time.
I am
Yeah.
too. I'm afraid with the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, because they said it's going to be 14 songs. 14 or 16 songs in the movie. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah, if they make it a musical, it's going to throw everybody off.
For Hollywood.
Unless they
it's a
car
musical.
wash it, because car wash is in theory a musical, but no one actually sings in it.
Unless it's like movies in the 80s and 90s that had a soundtrack and they played the soundtrack throughout the movie. It wasn't a musical, but the soundtrack was playing, so it had a lot of music in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eric says Brooks liked doing phallus reveals off of screen. Did the same thing in Young Frankenstein.
Did
Hilarious. Oh yeah, when they
were in bed.
Well, you remember at the end, she was like, "Well, if the monster got part of your intellect, what did you get from him?" And then his eyes get real bright. He goes, "Ah." Yeah, that's
as a male and yeah, right. I guess we ain't got that far down the road
please.
yet. Give it about another year or two. But I know you like Christopher Reeve Superman, which was fine when I was little. But I like Henry Cavill too.
Yeah,
I liked
they did a
him.
good job in their own way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Superman movies
yeah,
are good.
they like Christopher Reeve
14 songs
for the soundtrack.
Yeah, but I mean, just because it's on a soundtrack doesn't mean it need to be
I
in
hope they
the
don't.
movie.
Oh, just Jeff.
Hey, just Jeff.
Long day in Texas, hanging out. Oh, Pixel Dan was there. Good.
Hey, and some others today, but hot.
He's been getting around a lot lately.
Yeah,
actually.
he'll be in Georgia next month for Joe
Fest. Yes. Oh,
hey,
and
Johnny Future,
oh, thank you, Johnny.
you.
Made a donation to the channel and help with the kitties. Because as you
see, read, and hear. I'm interested in the figures for the new
DCU from McFarlane. Oh, okay, because he's got the DC license. That's right.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of nice stuff.
But
But you
as
know,
as some of you saw earlier, and we tried to show it anyways, we got screwed up because something went weird with Restream. We take care of stray animals, and a mama cat has brought
glad to
us
hear that.
five kittens, and they're like that big. They're practically newborn, just opening their eyes. And I did a short of it earlier that's on the channel if you guys wanted to go and look.
Okay, okay. Whew.
I hope so,
That makes me kind of hopeful.
because I don't
'Cause
want to
I-
see them singing.
Well, I refuse to watch the trailer. I don't want to see the trailer, but I saw a clip and they were dancing, and
Mhm.
I'm wondering if the whole thing is gonna be in his head, just like the first one. A lot of it with the girl, because you remember he had his little
Oh,
girlfriend.
he imagined he was in a relationship with her. That's
Yeah,
right. Yes.
that part was in his head, and I'm wondering if the whole Harley Quinn thing is gonna be in his head. Like she'll be there as the nurse, not the nurse, the psychiatrist.
But he'll get all schizophrenic with it.
Yeah. So I'm
We will see.
wondering if that's how that's gonna go. I try not to think too much on it. I'm not gonna watch any of the trailers. I'm gonna just go. I'm not gonna watch any other reviews from Hugh versus Babyface or Critical Drinker. Nobody. I'm not
yeah.
gonna watch nothing they put out. We need more anime movies.
Uh-huh.
I found a list of a bunch of supposedly really good animes, and I not downloaded it, but I saved it to watch. So I'm gonna start watching a bunch of them. We got it, saved in the thing to watch.
Oh, John says that he has some of the McFarlane DC multiverse. He likes the articulation in them.
I like the way it looks, but in our Walmart, they took all of the McFarlane stuff.
Yeah, they've
out.
moved it for now. They've taken it down and put it on clearance. I get again, they're replanogramming. They do it twice a year.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird.
Said it would be funny if he imagines the whole thing. Yeah, that would be weird.
See, reading here was that learning to read book that from the 80s, right?
Hooked on Phonics.
Yeah. Wasn't that the name of it?
That sounds familiar.
I know it was something like that. There was that beginning reading book.
Yeah.
Whose brain did you put into the monster? Abby someone? Abby who?
Abby Normal. Abby someone. I'm not going to get mad. You're not going to get mad. I promise I will not get mad.
Who is that?
That's what he said in Young Frankenstein. Remember?
Oh.
Where did you get that brain? Because he dropped it and he just grabbed another one.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying my statues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're sitting back here.
Yeah. I want to take them down though, because
they do take up a lot of space.
They take up a lot of space. They're not displayed the way that I want them to be displayed right now, but I do like it. I do have a 6 scale Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I had wanted one from Hot Toys, but they never came out with one.
Yeah.
So somebody had
a bootleg.
Bootleg, and I bought it. You're gonna get the.
Yeah, I know. It's $20 a piece, and it's wave 2, right? I think that's the second wave.
Oh no, you bought yours already? Oh,
that's very nostalgic, though.
It is, and you know what? I actually thought it. I didn't say it, but while David was showing it, I'm like, okay, those are usually in Walmart.
Yeah.
If I see it in Walmart, I might get it.
And
but I did like those. Those look good.
I do have the original Sesame Street action figures from Knickerbocker if anybody wants to see them.
Oh yeah, he has it. I am jealous about that because I don't have those.
It's a great set. They're nice.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Sesame Street, but they are from Tyco, I think.
William's going out for a background actor.
Oh,
that's what he's talking about.
Oh, in the Hollywood Casino soon. Okay. That's cool.
And C. Reed says the name of the channel is in honor of the reading books from the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Great to hear you guys are watching more anime. Soon you'll be collecting. No.
Hey, we're still working on Star Blazers, which is fantastic.
One step at a time, community. You way down the road. You are way.
But WCW fan. Watch
you know
the video.
what? Before David gets started, because we got Peacock. and Peacock has the WWF channel, and then they have the 80s. So we started watching WrestleMania 3 with Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
But Hulk Hogan and Andre the
That's
Giant.
the era I want to see.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. Okay. I watched your video yesterday of how you
Uh-huh.
display figure. Question, where is the best place to buy toy protectors?
Clamshells.
Yeah.
Zolo World, and I believe his are UV coated. Zolo World, ZOLOWORLD. They're little expensive, but with each one you buy, the price gets lower. There's tiers, so you can get a discount. Zolo World's not bad.
That other place where we buy
Starcase.
I think it is Starcase.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot, because the thing with Zolo World, they sell out quick and they don't restock.
It takes a while, yeah.
Yeah, the other place, I think it is Starcase. They have a bigger variety than Zolo World. They give you some examples, but don't hold to those examples. What I did is I measured the card, and then because they tell you the exact size of the card, the size of the size of the inner well. So go by that, measure the card out, because they're going to show you some pictures of the clamshell with different figures in it, and then they'll tell you, okay, it should fit this, and this, but it's going to fit more than what they say it's going to fit. So measure out the card.
Know your
itself.
size.
Yeah.
Also, when you order from them, just get one type at a time.
Yeah,
because they if you order multiples, they get them mixed up.
They do.
And it gets weird.
Because I've done that a couple of times. I bought a big order and I had like 4 different sizes, and then they're saying either the right back in the wrong front.
Yeah.
Or
or you'll get a size you didn't order.
Yeah. So they messed it up. The best way to do it is order one size at a time, maybe 2. But
that's Starcase we're talking about, not Zolo World.
Yeah. We pretty much buy from Starcase because they, like I said, they got a bigger variety of cases. All of them are going to be expensive. All of them are going to have a big hefty shipping price. It's just the way it is. I tried looking on eBay for some used ones. You won't find it. You'll find the little ones for the loose figures. You'll find a lot of that.
Or if you find the bigger ones, they're yellowed out or something's wrong with them.
Yeah. So I'm getting wave 2. I'm getting you're getting them on Monday. Yeah. I ain't got nobody.
Yeah, nobody. And Johnny wants to see the Sesame Street.
Okay. He wants to see
look at where you at.
Yeah. I'm not too far off. I've been splurging on the Jumbo Super 7 peanut cave.
I like those. Yeah. They're just so expensive.
I decided to get the characters that were in the Halloween special. Hopefully.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the Richard Scarry one that they did.
That Richard Scarry one was nice.
Amazing.
Been really pleased with Turtles of Grayskulls. They are actually better than Origins. Really, they look good, but I'm just tired of all of that. So my other channel is the Movie Dogs. Okay. Oh, so you have a channel called the Movie Dogs. Okay. Hold on, let me write that down so I can look it up. Because we look at movie reviews. People that talk about movie reviews, we like to watch that. I enjoy this channel extremely well. We are glad that you enjoy it. Hey, Reston.
Hey.
And Machine Man is here. As a middle-aged dad bod, I can recommend the anime Kaiju 8. Kaiju number 8. And Gilgamesh is here.
Yeah. As we catch up.
Yeah.
I do have the set out.
I use Figure Shield because they are the only ones that ever have anything in stock for my figures.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a couple of
There's a few.
A couple of them out there. But the ones we found, you got to jump around.
And Munin says, now that you mentioned 80s wrestling before their time, it
Mhm.
doesn't seem to be a big market for wrestling anymore. The merchandise sits on shelves
Yeah.
for years. Well, you got to remember the golden age of wrestling. I know before I get to the
Okay,
figures.
John. Well, we
Oh,
thank you for hanging out with us.
I'm sorry you don't feel well. Says
Yeah.
yes, back hold. The golden age of wrestling is from like 75 to 95. It's like a 20-year pocket, with the 80s being like the core of that,
Mhm.
where it was just blockbuster, where they would sell out football stadiums with 90, 100,000 people and be on pay-per-view at the same time. And you couldn't go anywhere in the world without knowing who these guys were. Even the lowliest wrestler was like amazing. And the merchandising was insane. It was insane, but it was a different type of wrestling altogether, because everything they did, oh, that they're what they do is arranged. It not taking anything away from their skill, because it's very hard and very dangerous what they do in the ring, but it's arranged. Okay, it's scripted, as it were, in regards to, okay, you're going to put this guy over tonight, that sort of a thing. But just about everything they did was completely improvised and off the top of their head, in the ring and outside of the ring, when they were on the live mic, when they did their shoots, and they did interviews. Now it's 100% scripted. Even when they're got the microphone in their hand, everything has been written down and they've been told exactly what to do, and it does not feel the same at all. It doesn't. And so the interest, it's not the same as it was, and they'll probably never be able to recapture it. That's the unfortunate reality of it.
Okay, this is the Movie Dogs YouTube
Channel.
page. I just went to it. So go to his channel, give him a check out, see what he got going on. And
Hank says Figure Shield gives you a discount.
Okay,
I think
I'm gonna
most
look
of
up.
them do.
Not
Toy Shield doesn't?
no.
I know that Zola World does.
Toy Shield don't give you nothing.
Oh, okay.
Nothing but wrong clamshells. Thank you,
And Stone Sour
Sour.
made a donation for the kitties.
Make sure y'all hit that like button.
Much appreciated. We got a lot of little babies we're taking care of.
I saw the Cabbage Patch astronaut doll at the flea market today, and a Space Shuttle Columbia launch record. It was a picture album. It looked interesting.
That's something that's really gone under over the years too, is the Cabbage Patch. They're not worth nearly what they were once upon a time.
They don't do that kind of storytelling anymore.
No, they don't do the storytelling anymore. And Sean says they still have their Jack's Wing Eagle and Big Gold Belt. And Axel says, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes left his propaganda movie under the guise of entertainment.
Oh,
really?
No.
I'm not surprised. And Eric says Roddy Piper's interviews are classic, especially the one with Danny DeVito. The most famous one was the one with the coconut. Oh, Nerd 101 is here.
Hey, Nerd.
But people wanted to see the Knickerbocker Sesame Street. Oh no, I haven't named them. I'm not that far ahead of it yet. They look like they're barely a few days old.
Yeah.
Anyways, these are 12th scale. They are 1/12 scale figures. Okay. They have 5 points of articulation. Well, Cookie Monster has 4 because his neck doesn't turn, but everybody else has 5 points of articulation. They were made in 1981 by Knickerbocker, and there's only 4 in the set. And they are mixed media because the clothing is real. He's wearing an apron there. Me love cookies. See right there. And they're not necessarily dressed exactly the same as how you see on the back there. They're not dressed exactly the same.
I like those. They display well. When you put them all together, they display really well.
See, there's the Ernie. And you see he's fully dressed. And these are like the earliest examples of actual like Sesame Street action figures. Sesame Street action figures. And this is the same style of box that Knickerbocker would use with their Little Orphan Annie, I believe, also when they did the Little Orphan Annie series. Of course, you have Ernie, you've got to have Bert. And you can see how like super colorful his outfit is on him. It's just very vibrant colors. And they're not terribly valuable, actually, but they are pretty rare. These are not easy to find in the boxes. If you look up Knickerbocker Sesame Street, Knickerbocker made a lot of stuff for Sesame Street, but you know, to me, these are great. I love these. I love these.
You ain't no good, Johnny.
What? Guy Smiley.
Yeah, but he can't wait to get his Guy Smiley and Lefty the salesman. He ain't about nothing.
And then
You ain't no good.
Let's shift. See if he'll shift around here. Big Bird's
See, and
kinda
here
facing
says
the
his
wrong way.
kindergarten teacher had this set.
And there's the Big Bird, who's wearing a different kerchief than the one in the picture. Every time I've seen Big Bird, though, he's wearing the one that is on the figure,
Oh,
not the one that's in the picture.
oh.
I don't know what's up with that, but like I said, they only got as far as 4 of these. They did not make a second wave.
Bert looked like he'll fit in the action team helicopter.
Yeah, like I said, they're 12th scale, so anything 12th scale, they should. I don't know. They are kind of chunky though, but they are technically 12 scale. And it's one of my favorite sets. You know, I have certain favorites. To me, you know, pre-Elmo era Sesame Street is very nostalgic.
Did they ever make the Snuffleupagus?
In doll form, not, you know, they made stuffed animals, but they did not do action figures.
Oh, okay.
They only did these 4. But yeah, they did dolls of like a bunch of them, including talking ones with pull strings.
Big Bird has a sweet sweater vest.
Yeah, basically. It's got his name on it too, so he doesn't forget who he is.
I don't have the room for pegboards like the one you have, so I got some 14 by 9 by 10 plastic display bins with a drop-down door for my loose displays. Fits the 7 and 8 inch figures and keeps the dust free. Well, that's good. I mean, you got to do what you can do. You can't have everything, so you got to work with the space you got. And if putting them in bins is what work, that's what work. You just keep that bin clean and keep those figures dust free. Who cares? You got them.
But there's
better than most.
Yeah, there's certain figures that are really nostalgic for me for childhood. That's one of them, and also the McDonald's figures from Remco, which are also 1/12 scale. The Remco McDonald's. Kit Munin says, "I'll say that the reactions are going to clearance guaranteed." Who knows?
I
don't
agree.
even know
That's
if those.
what I'm kind of waiting on.
Not all reactions end up in stores, but you might catch it on clearance on Big Bad Toy Store or something.
They had a big Super
Yeah.
7 clearance, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Because I did feel some kind of way about those Super 7 figures that I bought, and now they're on clearance. And I bought a lot of them, and I got a bunch at Big Bad Toy Store still waiting, and they're already on clearance. And I'm like, you're not going to be like Amazon, because Amazon, if you pre-order something and it goes down,
They'll lower it.
They lower the price. But Big Bad Toy Store, you pay the price that it was when you bought it.
Yeah.
So
Dad's Den says, "Don't get me started on Elmo." That was the beginning of the end for that show. Elmo's a very annoying character, and it took a different direction when they started.
Yeah, I always liked Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar was cool. And Johnny says, "Didn't they make actual puppets?" Yeah, Knickerbocker. No. Knickerbocker made dolls. They made stuffed animals, and they made talking ones. Child Guidance made puppets.
You have the puppets, don't you?
I have a few over here, actually. If you guys want to see them.
Show them the puppets. They want to see them puppets.
Oh,
you
think
put
so?
your hand up in the back and you move them and all of that. Oh, no.
Oh, I tripped.
You stepped on my figure.
No, I didn't step on it. He's okay.
I just bought some baskets for my records to get them off my bookshelf so I can put the books back up. I have 95 records. Oh, that's nice. I got mine in the bins we made, and I still got some in crates and in boxes because I got to build another bin. But you have 95 records. You got some good records
Yeah.
there.
These are the let me that's got to turn that around this way. See, these are the child guidance
Let me move
boxes
this out of the way.
that were done in the 1970s. There's an earlier version of the box that's extremely rare, that's a frame box, not a box like this. And they did several of the characters. This is the obviously Oscar and the Count. The Count's kind of a rare one. He's kind of tough to find. These are not cheap in the boxes, actually. They can be expensive. And to give you an idea of some of the ones that are there, the Franklin is a tough one. So, the Count, Franklin, and then over here, there's a real weird looking guy right here. This is a make your own. He has parts that come off his face. There's cloth. Some of them are cloth, and some of them have vinyl heads. And the Bert and the Ernie, I believe, are the most common ones to find. But these are the guys who were making the puppets, and they're very, very simple. They're very simple. I don't think this one's sealed.
R. Grundy says that those Super 7 Sesame Street figures are actually selling out. I believe that because that's a real nostalgia button. And those cards just really help it out. And they're making characters like the host and the sleazy guy. Yeah, those Funko Pop's been in Goodwill for a while and in Value Village, but it's always ones that I don't care about. But they.
But anyways,
See how David act?
That's all it is, basically. And the ones with the vinyl heads are more complicated because they have actual arms with vinyl hands, and the arms have foam cores, and there's a stand, there's a clamp actually that you put on their wrist so that you can control the hand as well as the head.
Oh, okay.
And that, if you watch carefully on the show, you can see that there's a line underneath sometimes with certain puppets. Although, like with the larger puppets, like the Ernie and Bert, there was actually a second person in there with their hands inside. So you'd have 3 hands inside of a puppet instead of 1. So God. 2 people to operate a puppet. But yeah, that's just an example of some of the child guidance.
If they did a super group Grover movie now, it would be awful. They needed it to do it back in the 70s or the 80s. If they do it now, it'll be over with for Sesame Street.
Yes.
My Target has every Super 7 item on clearance.
And nobody buys.
Nope.
Well, it's missing the outer boxes. Yeah, there's Oscar.
Yeah.
That's Oscar. And Who Did the Sesame Street figures that were about 1 inch tall sold in 3 packs. Okay. There's 2 companies that made figures in the 70s and early part of the 80s. That was Fisher Price and also Child Guidance. Child Guidance, it was more
jealous of those.
It was more figurines. Oh, Tay-Pig likes the Shoguns.
Yeah.
Some of my favorites. I know I say that about everything.
I know, right?
I think what you might be thinking of is this. And that's the Fisher Price Little People. And this is your basic Sesame Street assortment. And they had a couple of play sets and some other figures as well. That's, Cookie Monster, Ernie, Bert, Susan, Gordon, Mr. Hooper, Oscar, and Big Bird. And on the back here, you can see a couple of children with extremely perfect hair pretending to play with them for the photograph. But this, Fisher Price Adventure People, or not Adventure People, excuse me, Fisher Price Little People. Fisher Price Adventure People was something else entirely.
Super 7 has quality control issues. All of these toy manufacturers got quality control
Yeah.
issues. It's the child guidance one I'm thinking of. Thanks.
Oh,
Okay.
Child Guide. Yeah, those were
Yeah.
more like figurines, and they also did a. You have that, don't you?
What?
The Sesame Street playset from Child Guidance.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
I got that one. Johnny want to know what year those puppets came out.
Oh God, like 72 to 74, something like that.
See,
They're early. Yeah.
William Randall talking about Big Bird was laying an egg and the egg hatched. Big Bird has always been a male bird.
Yeah. Did you? I don't know. I don't know about that, but yeah, Big Bird's a male.
Yeah,
and Tay Pig said those are awesome. His sisters had those.
Yeah.
And he thinks it was 76. I know I had the Ernie as a child, and that was quite a while ago.
No, the puppets are all right. I just don't like when people start using them. Not talking and get all weird.
Hey, I didn't make him talk.
Oh, thank God.
You want me to make him talk?
No.
You want me to imitate I can get Oscar and the Count and make them talk.
No.
I got a Big Bird sitting back there too.
No.
Grundy says we had that set and I would kill to own it again. The Fisher Price set and probably a couple of others. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
do you guys have such original classic?
Oh, Perry Mason, Untouchables, Hawaii Five-0, FBI, Rawhide Policewoman. I mean, we have what? We got a bunch of old shows. I mean, with Gunsmoke and
but shows like that, we just stream it on the TV. Because those streaming platforms, they actually got a lot of.
Some of them do, yeah.
A lot of shows from that time period. Some of them we buy because we actually want to own, like the Gunsmoke.
Yes.
I actually wanted to own the Gunsmoke, so we got that. We got like Knight Rider and The Prisoner, which we're watching The Prisoner right now. What's the one? Dukes of Hazzard. Stuff Dukes like that. Perry Mason, Hawaii Five-0. Those are shows that we've watched. Well, that I've watched. I wouldn't want to own it though. I'll watch it, but own it, I don't know. But we watch it. Yeah. What toy lines do you think would do well current?
Any of them would if they were presented properly. And that's part of the problem. These companies have forgotten how to present to a younger audience. They don't even try. They're still, and we talked about this before, they're still targeting the same audience.
Yeah.
Us. They've been targeting the same group of people for 30, 40, 50 years without really trying to change that. And there are ways that they could reach out to a younger audience, and they just don't do it.
Did Animal the drummer have a puppet?
A puppet from Fisher Price.
Oh,
because
okay.
Fisher Price picked up after Child Guidance and did puppets and other things in the 70s. So Fisher Price made a bunch of puppets.
Made those puppets. Okay.
As we move around here, G.I. Joe Dave. The Airtight. Yeah, that's
you see something?
Airtight, or where's Airtight? Which one are you talking about?
Let me move so you can see good.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know if you're thinking of the right one.
Yeah, you gotta say what shelf is on.
Are you talking about Countdown? Or they can't see Countdown.
No,
they couldn't see Countdown anyways.
By the way, I found out that even the newer starting lineups are showing up at Ollie's for $7.99. What a raving success!
That's who he means.
Okay,
is the classic carded Airtight. I was looking in the wrong spot.
How much was that starting lineup when it came out? Wasn't it like $50? What
do you mean?
It's the new starting lineup.
The new ones. Yeah, they weren't cheap. They were more expensive than traditional Legends figures.
Wasn't it like $50? Because K Munich said they're like $7, $8 now.
Yeah, that completely tanked. I forget how much they were when they first came out, but I remember remarking when we covered it on the on the weekly roundup, I was like, wow, these are a lot more expensive. And they're just essentially Legends figures,
Yeah.
but they were a lot more expensive than normal because of all the franchising,
Yeah.
you know.
But they didn't do well in the beginning.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and Dad Sten says he thinks Fisher Price Adventure People could be revived even with some licensed stuff like Playmobil. But keep in mind, Playmobil, same thing. Why are they making the A Team and Knight Rider and stuff? Because they're still targeting the same core audience, us.
Yeah,
They're
but
not
that's
they're
what
not
it's
marketing to children.
but that's always what it's gonna be because
Yeah.
kids don't play with the toys. All they want is a phone.
Yeah,
So
those kids all they
it's
want is a
always
phone.
gonna be us.
Yeah.
So they, because I remember we had this conversation and I asked why won't they make new toys, like a brand new line.
Yeah.
But then who's going to buy the brand new line?
Well, you've got to link it correctly and look at what it is that these kids are doing. It could be done. Like younger people, and Eric says wants to know, we get a lot of rain too, Eric, out here this week. But they are going out and buying Fortnite figures, younger people, and they are going out and buying Five Nights at Freddy's figures.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because that ties in with what they do. They're going out and buying
game.
Halo. Yeah. How hard would it be? Hasbro, are you watching? Probably not. How hard would it be to make an RPG with G.I. Joe? A role-playing game.
Mm-hmm.
A first-person thing, like with all these other games like Assassin's Creed or whatever.
Yeah.
And do it with G.I. Joe. You've got decades of storyline
Mm-hmm.
already. You could take anything from the comics, anything from the Raw era Joes. You have 100 characters already with complete bios and
Mm-hmm.
personalities. The hard part has already been done.
Mm-hmm.
It was done decades ago. That's the hard part for most of these. And you set up your storyboard, make your little map of your little world. Then the kids will play it. They can pick whatever character they want, Cobra or G.I. Joe, and then they would have an interest in the toys again. But nobody's thought of that, apparently.
C. Reed here says his little boy is 17, is very great at making puppets, better than he can ever imagine.
Okay.
He just commissioned to make a mascot for another toy store in Florida. That's cool. That's something they can do. Time for dinner. Okay.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us.
And Gilgamesh says best Muppet Sesame Street figures are the Palisades ones.
I never heard.
I'm not sure if I remember that one.
Video game figures.
Not really. I don't really have much in the way of what you would call video game figures hanging around. A lot of my stuff, I've got a lot of mascot stuff, a lot of ad icon stuff, I guess you could say, a lot of 70s and 80s related toys.
I can agree with that. Big time. Most of those toy lines will be dead, and it's like, who's gonna buy them? Because after we're gone, people from that grew up, I'll say in the 90s, who's gonna buy it after them?
Yeah, and then if they are interested in them, they're going to be interested in the earlier incarnations, not all these reiterations that keep coming out over and over and over again, because those are just copies anyways.
They're gonna fold and go bankrupt. That's what they're gonna do. Because I mean, I don't think toys are as appealing anymore as it was.
I don't know.
Forgotten.
Axel says, forgotten how to present. Are they cheapskates, cutting corners, penny pinching, forgot more accurate details? $55 craftsmanship. You talking about Super 7? The Super 7 G.I. Joes are $55.
Yeah.
And Machine Man says, wasn't G.I. Joe classified Wave 1 a game tie-in and the adult collectors lost their minds? Not that I'm aware of. I don't know that there is a game for the classified Joes.
I would absolutely love Persona Shin.
You can't read that.
I know. That's why I'm skipping it. Been a fan of those games very young age. Okay, the video game franchises.
Yeah, GI Joe Dave likes that idea. Yeah, well, if they do it, remember I said it first, and then Hasbro will pretend like they had something in the works for a decade.
Making a GI Joe Transformer together.
I
Oh, in
heard
a
that
movie.
too, a live action of GI Joe and Transformer tie-in.
I know the Transformer comic books are getting a big resurgence,
Yeah,
and they got a new comic book that's been coming out, that's getting a lot of steam. By the way, Bert has one eyebrow. Just
hmm
saying, yeah, he always
yeah,
had that unibrow.
unibrow.
The molds used to make are that bad.
Axel's talking about the construction of the figures. I don't know. I haven't handled a Super Seven figure actually.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I haven't handled one, so I don't know how they hold up. I
Mm,
know that the classified figures have had problems, elbows and wrists. But you saw the same thing with the Dungeons and Dragons figures too.
yeah, those
A lot of
broke.
them were breaking, and
As soon as you touched it, they broke down.
C. Reed says an RPG, a GI Joe comic would be a better idea. Yeah, people are more. I think more people are familiar with the show than the comic, but you could go either way.
Yeah,
hmm
CDs, because everything is digital now. And then
Yeah,
I've seen videos and read articles where they encourage you to get rid of all of your books, get rid of all of your DVDs.
minimalize.
Yeah,
Yeah,
live this minimal lifestyle. And you have nothing, and it's like, I'd rather have my book. I want to read it with the words that was originally written. I want to see the movie when the disc that came out originally, before you went back and edited and took this out and added this, because they do that to movies now. A bunch of Disney movies, they did that. They went back, they edited. Other movies, they go and edit, take things out, add things that wasn't there originally. And then people that saw the original ones in the movie theater or have the VCR tape, it's like, hey, that's not what happened. This
yeah.
happened.
What did you do?
Yeah, and then you pull out the VCR tape and you're like, what?
You know that makes me think of. I saw a cartoon strip recently
Mm-hmm.
where this guy has a vinyl record and he's showing it to his kid, and the kid's like, "What's that?" And he says, "Oh, this is what we used to use to listen to music before CDs." And then the kid says, "What's a CD?" Because that's where we're at. WCW says they have another question because we're awesome. Are we? We try. How about when it comes to vintage shirts, bandanas? Would a shadow box work for those? And how about cardboard logos and displays? Um, you could put those behind glass. You could put them in a frame. You know, the although they're larger, so that gets complicated.
Yeah.
And it depends on how many you have. I mean, do you have space for like 20 frame T-shirts? That
Yeah.
you'll run out pretty quickly. You run out of room pretty quickly. I don't get into that too much. I have just a couple of small display items. I have an original Inhumanoids cardboard display, but it's small,
Yeah.
so that's not that much of a problem. Oh, Punisher S is here. Glad you could make it. And Munin says it's going to be a boring world if everyone's minimalist. Well, they'll just stream everything. They'll
Yeah,
st-
until
until
the internet goes down or
yeah,
the power goes out.
until it crashes,
And
and
then
then
you don't have a book to read, a Walkman, or a record player, or nothing.
or until they alter it, and then you don't know the difference. Which Jay Sherman predicted on that show,
What's Jay Sherman?
the Jay Sherman show,
I never saw
the
Jay Sherman.
critic.
I never saw the
Oh,
critic.
you never saw that show. They were doing that on the critic, and Jay Sherman called it out on the cartoon.
Reston says he loves his DVDs, owned, no streaming fees, and I pass them down to my kids.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we got DVDs, records, CDs, books, comic books, but we still stream. Um, like I said, we'll
Depends on
stream
what it is.
shows that we don't really care to buy, watch movies that you don't care to buy, but we still own a lot and still buy a lot. Like I said before, um, I bought the box set of Mel Brooks. It's not all, but it's a lot of his movies. And I bought the the Police Squad, what, Naked Gun,
Naked Gun.
the Naked Gun trilogy for on Blu-ray, because that's something I want to have. I saw those movies. I like them a lot. They're hilarious. Things like that. But yeah, once the internet goes down, power goes out, you're not gonna have nothing.
Yeah.
I noticed on stream services, when you look up a movie you want to see, the dang movie is unavailable. Yeah. Or they'll tell you
Yeah. There's a
14
fee.
days. Well, they say ending in 14 days. So because they only have it on there so long.
Yeah.
And then they pull it. They pull it down. I don't know if it's because enough people are not watching, or it's just a contract that says you can play this for 6 months. I don't know how that works, but
Yeah.
you see that and they're like, okay, then they give you this countdown. If you have it in your watch list, watch it because it's about to end.
And we don't want to binge.
No,
we don't like doing that.
no.
So or they, like I said, there's a fee.
Yeah.
You go to watch the movie and they want $3.99. I say, come on, give me a break. Yeah, sometimes the fee is so high, you're better off buying the damn disc used off Amazon.
Yeah, physical media. I
Yeah.
want my physical media.
Yeah, I
Uh-oh,
prefer
I'm
that.
behind
You're
again.
way behind. And G.I. Joe says they like hard copies as well. Minimalist sounds like communist. Yeah, no kidding. You will have nothing and be happy.
Not me. I'd rather be a hoarder and just live in my hoard. Because I mean, I don't know. We ain't going on that topic.
Yeah,
There's
Johnny.
still a lot of VHS movies still
That's
not
true.
on DVD. It is. And you go to Goodwill and it's a ton. It's like 1 million VCR tapes out there. And I know when I was a kid, I used to record the movie off of the TV. So I used to have a bunch of VCR tapes. I don't know what happened to them. I think I threw them all
And
out.
unless someone ran a magnet over them, they still work. I mean,
Yeah.
people say, "Oh, they don't." They and that's one of the illusions. They'll tell you they'll stop working over. They're not going to last after a certain amount. I'm like, bullshit. They still work. Even the Betamaxes still work as long as they haven't been magnetized.
I've had that done, Johnny. It does work. It was a store here in Atlanta. I had a VCR tape, and I converted it to a DVD. And then also I had a program for the computer, and you can hook up your VCR and DVD and you can record it. You can convert it like that. It did tapes, CDs, and records. You connect them all to the computer, and that program, you run it through the program and it digitalizes it, and then you can download it onto the hard drive or to a CD or DVD or something like that. So that stuff is out there, and there are companies that do it, and it should be fairly cheap now. When I did it, it was back in the early 2000s.
And now modern computer towers don't even have a CD port anymore.
No,
they're trying
you got to add that on.
They're trying to take that from you.
Are better than streaming. You don't have to worry about the content being removed. Yeah. And then it's quicker because David got a lot of stuff on DVD and I always stream it. And then you got to watch all these silly commercials and stuff. But then when you got a DVD, you don't have to watch the commercials and all of that. But it's easier to stream because then you don't have to pull a DVD out, put it in the player. And then the streaming service keeps track of where you are. Like, okay, you're on this episode, you already watched that. But I like having it because when the power goes out, when the internet goes down,
you
can
never know.
Still watch it. Hey, don't knock Kindle. I never had a Kindle. It's excellent.
Johnny says, unless you've got a copy of Animal Farmer 1984, because you remember when Amazon accidentally erased everybody's copies a few years back and then had to issue a public apology and replace them.
There was a YouTuber doing a toy hunt and he saw some CDs and DVDs at a store he was at. He probably didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I know. What are these discs? He'd be like Austin Powers in the first film where he didn't understand what a CD was, so he put it on the record player and was trying to get it to work.
There are a lot of people at the flea market looking at
DVDs.
They're
fairly cheap in places like that.
I still got my original CDs that I bought when I was a teenager. I got
Mhm.
like, cause you remember you used to buy that folder and it could hold like 50, 100, 500 CDs. I got like a ton of those, and
Yeah,
it's the original ones. Some of them I had burned, but the majority of them I bought, and I still have them.
yeah.
Yeah, I never got rid of those. I wish I had never got rid of a lot of other things.
Munin says, to be fair, maybe people giving up on books because the reading and comprehension skills have deteriorated. Don't get me started.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a whole nother thing, K
because you
Munin.
remember I used to work for Juvenile Justice Authority, and I used to hear it all the time. I hate reading. I hate reading. I hate reading. And the reality of it was they couldn't do it. That's why they didn't like reading. They couldn't, and they sounded foolish. Severus says toys moving into the adult space are made to set and display. The fact that they come with instructions on how to heat them to avoid breakage is insane, but I'll continue to give them my money. Oh, I have a big pet peeve with that too, because again, I've got figures going all the way back to the 70s and toys from the 60s that still work, that is still functioning. And it's like, if they could do that, it could be done now. And they did it by comparison far cheaper. I know things have gotten more expensive, but you don't go from a figure costing $5 to costing like 125, and that's just supposed to be inflation. I could understand if you go from like 5 to 20, but not over $100 or whatever to these insane prices. It doesn't make sense. And as far as like sculpting or whatever,
Hmm.
some of those vintage toys had some incredible sculpting. Like, if you look at let me see back here real quick.
Oh, okay.
These are I know these are broken, but these are the action figures from the Space 1999 Mattel 1974 playset, right? And if I hold Koenig up here, I don't know how well he's
You
going to
can't see that thing.
give
Don't look
me
like
a
nothing.
chance.
Uh,
I got to get him, see if I can get him dialed in there. If you can see the detail on his costume and in his face.
that's not a good likeness. Oh, my bad. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
You
just
got to
hard.
look
It's
at it
not
right
coming.
there,
Yeah, it's not coming in very
not on
well
the computer.
in the image. But they sculpted his arm came off. But they sculpted the hell out of this for just a cheap playset. These figures have incredible detail, and there's others too. There's other figures with the detail, and you look at them and you're like, wow, they did a great job on this, considering for for
Oh,
for super cheap, for next to nothing.
I didn't know Naked Gun had a TV show, Robert. And Johnny says he's going to build a custom DVD shelf over the summer.
Hmm.
But I didn't know Naked Gun had a TV show. I just know the movies, the 3 movies that they had. Hard to believe that they are remaking Naked. What? They're
If they,
remaking that
yeah, it's got to be done right though. It's got to be completely dry humor. You
with
can't.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
But is he a comedic actor? I only ever
no,
seen him in like dramas.
yeah, but I mean that's also how oh, what's his name from the original Naked Gun? That's how he.
Leslie
Yeah, Leslie
Nielsen.
Nielsen was a dramatic actor too.
Yeah, but when he switched over, it was funny.
Yeah, but he gave dry delivery. That's the key to that kind of comedy. You act like it's completely normal. It's not supposed to be funny to them. You know what I mean? It's got to be a totally dry delivery for that kind of humor to work, which Liam Neeson technically can do if he acts like he normally does in any other circumstance, plays it dramatically.
Yeah, but um, the way Leslie Nielsen came out, yeah, it was dry humor, but he
Yeah.
said it in a way that I don't know. He said it in a way that was funny. I don't know. I guess because I'm used to seeing
Sure.
Liam Neeson in a way that's always just serious and intense. And then when I
Yeah.
saw Leslie Nielsen, I saw him as a comedic actor before I saw him as a
Dramatic.
dramatic actor. So I guess it was already instilled that, oh, okay, he's a comedic actor. And then you saw him in his earlier stuff, and you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
that's
Surprise.
not...
Yeah. Guess what?
Alpha Trion recently put his family movies on a Google Drive. Those VCR tapes are 45 years
Yeah.
old.
And Johnny says his laptop does not
Yeah.
have a port. Yeah.
I had to buy it. Yeah, you got to buy
They're
it
doing away
separately.
with all of that.
All of that stuff. They don't want you
Taking
to
it
have
away
nothing.
from you.
Need to create Nostalgia Island. That'll be cool. Then you can go and visit, and everything is
Mhm.
from the Let's see. I've got some CDs from 1986. They still play. No disc
And
rock.
those laser discs still work too.
Really?
Whoa. Yeah. Those
Okay, I'm
the
way
big
behind, so I
laser
got to
discs.
start catching up. My 12-inch GI Joes are still being played with after all these years. Me and the kids take outside and even to the creek. And the thing that's so funny about the hey wholesome
Wholesome comics.
Those toys from that time period, they don't break up that bad unless you like ultra rough. David, I think in a video you said you have a son. Does he appreciate vintage toys and comics as much as you do?
Yeah, Warren is in Illinois and he owns Nerdtastic Plastic. And he does, if you're in that area, if you go Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, in that like tri-state area, if there's a toy show, he's probably set up there. So he does that. And WCW says, one more question. I feel bad bothering both of you with questions. Shame on you. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to grading toys and comics, do you recommend doing that in person instead of shipping them? Shipping them is going to be very expensive, especially return shipping, because now you've got a big heavy acrylic case in an overpack. They'll kill you on shipping. They will kill you on shipping. If you want to get an action figure or a toy graded, I would recommend trying to do it in person.
But where can you get a comic graded in person? Because they like to have them and keep it and do all kind of weird things.
They do set up at shows sometimes. I know CGC does show up at some of the bigger shows, and they'll do it on the spot.
Oh, I thought they took it.
No, that's CBCS takes it away.
Okay. But, I didn't know they actually graded it on the spot. I thought they took it from you.
CGC will do it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do it that way, but that's
I saw the Forbidden Planet. Yeah, I saw him in that.
That's going way back.
Yeah, and he was in another one with these mutated animals. It was in the 60s or 70s, and it was a group of people. They were going on like a camping trip or something, but it was some toxins in the water, and the animals drank it, and they drank it, and the animals became mutated. And he was like a real butthole in that one. Vintage toys were completely made better.
Certainly made better than the modern counterparts. Certainly. Still remember the Hasbro CEO declaring Hasbro a, quote, high-end toy company a year or so ago. God help us.
Year or so ago.
Yeah.
Only dramatic role I ever saw Nelly Neeson in the Day of the Animals. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Everyone. He was a real butthole. I think he ended up dying in that film. But yeah, that one, I saw him in about 3 of them. Naked Gun was a TV show before. Yeah, it was the Police Squad, because I keep saying the Police Squad. Yeah, I didn't realize, but now that you say it, I do know.
And Hugo wants to know if we remember Battlestar Galactica. Certainly we do.
Yeah, we watched that.
It was a good series.
Yeah, we watched that recently.
There was 2 Battlestar Galacticas originally. The Battlestar Galactica, which is a movie that turned into the show, and then the show was canceled because the toy line dropped off because of that accident with the kid in the rocket when he choked on it. And so if they couldn't push the toys, they didn't want to run the show anymore. And then they tried to revive it in 1980, and they called it Battlestar 1980, and that it wasn't well written at all, except for the last couple of episodes.
Since we talk about collectibles, David, do you think a green cardigan sweater worn by Kurt Cobain is worth $300,000? It sold for that much.
Not really. I don't, but somebody did, obviously.
Yeah, somebody else did. I think I might make some short videos showing my record. Oh, okay.
Post them in the group. That's fine.
Yeah, that'll be cool. We like seeing records.
Hmm.
The Police Squad or Naked Gun.
I don't remember.
What I bought was the Naked Gun because I bought the movies, the three movies, and they had a 3 Blu-ray set, 3 disc set, one for each. So I got that because I really wanted that, and like I said, the Mel Brooks set, which is not all of them, but it's like a bunch of his movies. So I would have to get another set, I guess. There's pros and cons to on-site grading, but my con
would be CGC. It's so rushed. Your comic may get slightly damaged, and can you really trust the grade? It might get slightly damaged, and can you trust the grade when you send it in?
Yeah.
Because
but see, when you send it in, I mean, well, the videos I've seen, everybody sends them in, and then some people get their book back, solid book. Some people, we saw the guy, the book was turned backwards in there. The book was upside down. The book is torn.
Yeah.
The covers torn off. I mean, you get all kinds of things that go wrong.
And then there's that famous video of that Superman, that or Action Comics #1, the low grade that the guy was flipping through.
Yeah.
Because they were filming at CGC doing it, and he flipped through it so quickly he damaged the book. Remember that video? That was a couple of years ago.
How can you grade 10,000 comic books in
That's
one
how they
weekend?
do it in studio.
But I mean, how many people does it take to do that in one weekend? Farscape, I never watched Farscape.
I've seen it. I've seen Farscape. I don't think I ever saw the last season. That's that one of those Canadian sci-fi shows.
He was in Prom Night? I don't think I've seen Prom Night. I know what it is. It's
he was also
movie.
in Cull. He died in Cull. Like, because everybody is always saying, "Oh, Leslie Nielsen never died in a film." He died in Cull, and he also died in the original Batman, the Batman with what's his name, the second Batman.
Oh, he was in the second Batman?
No, the one before the Heath Ledger Joker, Christian Bale. The first Christian Bale Batman, he was in it, and Bale killed him.
He died in that one about the animals. I think he got killed in that one. He was such a butthole. You knew he was going to die.
Oh, you know what? I'm not Leslie Nielsen. I'm confusing them now.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Yeah.
I didn't think Leslie Nielsen was in Batman.
Yeah, Liam Neeson was killed by Christian Bale, and he was killed in Cull also.
What's your oldest Golden Age comic?
Probably I might have something older. I'm just not sure off the top of my head, but I've got Batman 54. That's that one that I found with the really bad rolling in the bin.
Mm-hmm.
I found it in bin pick, and it was the only thing really wrong with it was it had like that much roll on the back. It was just really bad, but I cleaned and pressed it. I actually ended up pressing that sucker like 3 times, and I got it down to a 1/16 of an inch of roll on the back. I don't want to mess with it again because that's enough. But off the top of my head, that's probably like the oldest one.
A lot of okay. I guess he played the bad guy a lot.
Yeah. Well, he said he didn't used to get good money until he started doing the comedies. I saw him in an interview once upon a time.
Some older music CDs are worth a lot these days. My local record store has some pricey CDs. Yeah, I got a lot of my original stuff, that I bought from the 90s. I kept all my CDs because I always liked music, and everywhere I went, I hand carried them. When I was in the military, I didn't ship them. I carried them with me because, I liked them. And then I downloaded a lot or burned a lot of them.
And Wholesome says it's always fun when father and son share a passion for the same hobby. Doesn't always work out that way. No, it doesn't, unfortunately. You hear all the time about where a child or other family members just don't see the appeal. And you see that sometimes, somebody passes on and they can't wait to sell that collection.
I know.
They're just
one I saw that was real sad on the local Facebook marketplace. The girl.
Oh, the train set?
Yes,
Oh,
the
yeah.
train set. The dad, she was selling the whole thing, $2,000. I mean, the dad built, and she said, "This is my dad's train set." Dad built the whole city, everything, all the trains, the buildings,
It's
the
probably like a
trees.
$50,000 bill in that basement.
Yeah, I was like, man, if I had the space for that, I would get it because I always wanted a train set. And I saw it. I was like, "What? What are you selling for 2,000?" So I looked at it because people put a price, and she like, "Whole thing, come get it." And I'm like, "Golly!" I said, "Man, whole set."
That's his whole life.
Yeah,
That's all he ever wanted, and he was probably down there all the time playing with it. And
yeah,
she's just
getting
like,
away from them.
"Get this trash out of my house."
Yeah,
Yeah,
you dead now. We're gonna get some money off of you.
yeah, that's sad.
In the new empire, they have cardboard play sets for what?
Really, I don't know
Mm-mm.
about that.
Oh, he died in the airplane.
Okay,
I don't remember airplane that much.
Airplane was all right. Munin says
So,
CGC filmed themselves damaging a comic and still put the video out in a
yeah,
wonderful way. Yeah, people were pretty upset about that at the time. You can find that on YouTube if you look for it. CGC damages Superman, something like that. You type in, you'll find it.
I love my Columbo set on DVD. I just wish they were Blu-ray. My favorite, yeah, the Johnny Cash one was good,
And
and
the
the
wine
wine.
guy. Well, he liked them.
Yeah,
You could tell he really liked those two guys, not Leonard Nimoy.
no, Leonard
but
Nimoy gave him the hardest time.
he was pissed at Leonard Nimoy.
Only I think I could do the continuous nonstop shifts with multiple people. I don't know. That's a lot of books to sift through. And are you really looking? He was a butthole. Yeah. Are you really looking at it? Doing 10,000 books in what I'll say 3 days.
Theoretically, you could, but how accurate would you be if it was just one person? Or how, I don't know how many people were there. Stone Sour said, "Chances in here." Yeah, Nostalgic Pod Blast.
Where
Where
are you in Dallas?
And I'll just point out here really quickly, since you brought that up, and I put out a post on it on, I'm pretty sure I put something on Facebook. I don't remember. And I mentioned it yesterday when we did our video that we're going to be on Nostalgic Pod Blast's channel tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because he's doing an unboxing and he invited us. And that was Danny.
Yeah, from South Carolina. What part of South Carolina? I'm from South Carolina.
What part of South Carolina?
So in Dallas, they just went, okay, what's his name? Ray got off because
he's out of court.
He pulled a plug on Mickey. They went to court. The judge found him guilty, but he got probation.
If he wasn't rich, he'd be in jail for 10 years.
Yeah. They just went to the oil barons ball. Cliff is oil baron of the year.
Yay.
Bobby showed up with Jenna Wade. Pam was there with the man she left Bobby for, but was upset because Bobby was with Jenna Wade. Why are you upset? And the sister was upset because she wanted to be with Bobby, and she broke up Bobby and Pam so she can get with Bobby, but Bobby's there with another woman. So that's where we are.
Is being oil baron of the year the same as being like pimp of the year? Remember from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker? Pimp of the year.
I'm hoping we get a new really great made ROM Space Knight toy that actually looks like chrome, not that ugly blah battleship gray, and a figure that has a real arms and legs.
That was like a rebuild of, actually, it was a rebuild that mold's been used a few times and just kind of retooled because it was also the Colonial Warrior, the 12-inch Colonial Warrior from Battlestar Galactica, and it was the original Captain Laser from the Major Matt Mason line, which doesn't make any sense because the Major Matt Mason figures are 6 inches tall and he's 12. But
did you ever read Marvel Comics? The Micronauts 1 through 12 were great and beautifully illustrated by Michael Golden. ROM Space Knight Marvel Comics series.
Yeah, it's a good series. They're both good series.
Oh snap! I'm in Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah, we watching Dallas. We watching Dynasty.
I'm not caring for Dynasty. But whatever.
Dynasties.
Dynasty sucks.
Not bad. We're watching Wonder Woman. We're watching The Flash. We're watching The Prisoner.
90s Flash, 70s Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we're watching The Prisoner from the 60s because
Yes.
they do have a more modern one. We're watching Mrs. Bucket. What's the name of that?
Keeping Up
Appearances.
80s, 80s British comedy.
Knight Rider.
Yeah. What
And
else?
that's what we're watching. That's it.
You don't know?
No, that's it.
Smurfs.
Oh yeah, but
Battlestar Galactica.
we always
no, not
messing up.
Battlestar Galactica.
We always messing up. Oh, Bernstein Bears,
Bears.
and what's that space anime we're watching?
Star Blazers.
Star Blazers. That is a good show.
One of the best
Star
animes
Blazers.
ever done.
I still got my color Game Boy, my DVD, VCR player, my CD player, my tape player, Walkman, and it's all still.
That solid
works.
state stuff holds up. That's why. And Johnny says, yeah, you really think 3 people are verifying the grades? I don't think so. Not with the money they're getting in 3 days. So you see now Johnny's getting upset.
Well, Johnny got triggered.
Oh, no.
I will be watching Chance.
Oh,
okay,
excellent.
We'll see you there tomorrow then because we'll be there.
Yeah.
Do you like David's beard? I love the white color. Yeah, I asked him to grow it out because we're going for that ZZ Top look. So we're going to get it to come down here.
Yeah.
We're going to braid it. We're going to get some braids in it. We're going to do some
Yeah, she asked me to grow. She's like, do you think your beard would grow out? And I was like, of course it will. And she was like, well, I want to see. And then when it started growing out, she likes it now. So now I'm kind of stuck.
It would be good if the Star Wars license. What does that mean?
I don't know. But
okay.
maybe he means if they make a film or show out of it. Hopefully, they could do a good if they follow the original plot lines, but they'll probably blow it up.
Johnny rather ship it, even though he got to pay the shipping charge. Hulk smash that like button, you guys.
Yeah, must be much appreciated.
Falcon Crest, we were watching Falcon Crest and still until they started charging.
Yeah.
Then we had to stop with
Suddenly
Falcon
there was a fee.
Yeah, suddenly you gotta pay for Falcon Crest, and we was all up in that Falcon Crest. Yeah, Knox Landing is not on free streaming, so we're not watching that.
No.
That's with the brother Gary. Gary went to Knox Landing. So, but yeah, we watch all that stuff.
And Peter says nothing better than Wonder Woman on her Wonder skateboard. Remember that? I know what you're talking about. We haven't gotten to that yet, but I do remember
again,
that.
From Cape
Mark
Cod.
Franco is here. Glad you could make it.
Okay.
But that show is just hilarious to watch, and it reminds me again of the Adam West Batman, because I think they were being silly on purpose with a lot of it, because so much of what they do on that Wonder Woman doesn't make any damn sense. And you even just listen to the theme song. In her satin tights, fighting for your rights in the old red, white, and blue. I mean, seriously.
They have Dark Shadows DVDs. We actually found
we have a few
of them from that Goodwill. We were at Goodwill. We don't have the
certain
complete
seasons.
Yeah, we don't have the complete season, but it is on DVD. I don't know if you're going to find a complete box set. You might have to buy it in chunks.
It's expensive.
Yeah, because it's a lot. It ran for what? It ran longer than Gunsmoke, I think.
Yeah,
and
it was on for a long
was
time.
Expensive.
Although no one cared about the show until Barnabas showed up.
Yeah, but I actually liked it before Barnabas showed up. When Barnabas got there, it was good until they went back in time. Then when they came back, it was okay.
I got sick of that witch.
Yeah,
made me not want to watch it anymore.
She made it difficult, and we had to kind of slow it down there. Then they came back, and it got all right. But then the witch came back, and now she's Angelique, and she's just so annoying. And they got to that dream sequence, and then Adam is there, and I actually stopped watching it and forgot about it. I want to get back to it, but that Angelique is just ridiculous. She's hard to bear. Georgia has really
good vintage toy channels.
UNLPH,
Retro
Retro
Blasting.
Blasting, Big Old Words. I never heard of them.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen
Big
Big Old Words.
Let me write
We
that one down.
appreciate that though. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, we try. We're just trying to share the hobby and have a
Big
good time,
Old
really.
Words. I'll look them up. I know Retro Blasting.
Yes.
He is in this area.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is a couple of people. Did you know they still have Kmart? And
There's a couple of Kmart still floating around.
Oh, he's talking about the website.
Yeah, but they the other thing, Dark Shadows is fun to watch though because it was filmed live.
Yeah.
So if they made mistakes, they had to run with it, and you can catch it, and it's kind of funny, especially when David forgets his lines. That's pretty good.
And then they gotta kind of lead him.
They
Don't you want to say this?
I feel like you want to tell me that, and then the kid is like, "Oh yeah, I want to say that." You know, it's just kind of funny, or some prop screws up, or door won't open, or someone goes to walk in a room and backs up real quick because they weren't supposed to come in yet. Weird stuff like that happens on that show all the time.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little Viking period. We're gonna do a lot of stuff with this beard, so y'all just be.
Do I have to get facial tattoos?
Oh God, no! You do the facial tattoos. I think it'll be over.
Oh.
I think they did a Night Stalker. Night Stalker was good. I actually liked that. The one thing I didn't like, some of the scenes were shot like at night, so it didn't come out clear.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard to see some of it. Bad post earlier.
Oh, okay.
It seems like Hasbro has a lot of good IPs
in the wings.
The wings. If Star Wars go, okay. Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Hugo says that Sam Raimi needs to direct a trilogy of MCU films. Well, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I think they need to put it on the shelf for a while and just leave it alone and let everybody's appetite for it settle.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been cranking it, and they've screwed it up, and everybody always remembers the last thing you did. They don't remember Iron Man 1 was really good. They don't remember that the first Captain America was a really good film. You know what I mean? They remember that the last few films that Marvel put out were trash. That's what they remember.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to let that go. So they need to put it away and just leave it alone for a while and then start over. You know?
Yeah, Gunsmoke is expensive.
Well, considering that it's 20 seasons, that's not too bad.
But if you go on Amazon and then you buy it used, sometimes you can get it for under $200, but it's still going to be a lot. Good Times Complete Season goes for a lot.
Really?
I don't know. That's not one I would want to have on disc.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know if I'll watch it. I've watched some of it. And it's okay.
C would like to see Mego get Star Wars. Well, that was the rumor. They were offered it originally and turned it down, or so the rumor goes, even though Marty.
Forever Night. Go ahead.
I remember Forever Night. Marty denies it, but that's what people have been told. That's how Kenner ended up with it, because no one else wanted it. But it would be interesting to see them do it, and they've kicked the idea around recently, although they're still working on doing Marvel. There's a lot of rumors flying around that they're going to do Marvel again. We'll see. But yeah, and again, even Mego, who are they selling these figures to?
Mm-hmm.
It's for the adult market. They're not selling that stuff to kids. They're not marketing it to children.
Derek Benedict is still out there. He played Starbuck in the face on 18. He's still around at 79. Damn. Wow, he's old.
Oh, really? Yeah. But he gets around.
Are You Being Served is kind of like that with, yeah. Are You Being Served?
That was a live show too.
You can watch that more than we've watched it twice.
A couple of times, yeah.
And we'll watch it again. That's a show you can watch multiple times.
It's fun. Not the Australian one. There's two. There's two.
Yeah.
There's the proper British one.
Yeah.
And then there's an Australian version that has the same exact Mr. Humphries, but the whole rest of the cast is different. Mr. Humphries, the actor, sings the theme song himself and then goes right into his role, because it was also live.
Yeah.
So he sits there and sings and then just drops into his role, but it's the exact same plots.
Yeah,
and
it's the same stories.
but it doesn't feel right because you're used to it being
Mhm.
everybody else. You're used to Mr. Peacock, the proper actors that were in the first show.
And then they did Are You Being Served Again, where they all retired from the department store, and somebody bought a house out in the country and they turned it into a bed and breakfast. So I think you had Mr. Rumble, Mrs.
Slocum.
Slocum.
Mhm. Oh yeah, the sequel. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you had
Are
a
You
bunch
Being
of
Served Again?
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they were getting the house ready. Like I said, they were going to turn it into a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the same. It wasn't that good.
Plus, the premise didn't make sense anyways, because essentially the way that it was set up was that Mr. Grace stole all their pensions before he died. That when they went to get their pensions, there was nothing. And with the settlements,
Mhm.
the best they could do was offering them that property, because he ripped off all the employees ultimately.
Yeah.
Is how that worked out. And it's like, wow, that sucks. And then they still get stuck together in that country.
Yeah, in that country.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did do some action figures for Dark Shadows, but they're ultra expensive.
Figures Toy Company or somebody. Yeah.
I don't know if it was them. I think, yeah, he says Mego. It is Mego.
Mego like.
Oh,
yeah.
it's Mego like.
Mhm.
But they are ultra expensive. I mean, really expensive.
Johnny, that will never happen.
No, Johnny, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
No, Robert, we tried watching the 70s Hulk.
I have the whole series on disc.
It's too depressing. I had to stop. I'm like, look, dude, I can't do this. You too depressing. I mean,
He's sad.
Yeah, but it was just too much. No, we're not dyeing the beard. I don't want it dyed. I don't like dyed hair. So we ain't doing it. Okay, the Dark Shadow, the final blooper, the end credits rolling on the set. Barnabas was in his street clothes,
running out the door.
Okay, I'm way behind. I got to start picking up. How long of a break do you think you should take before making any more?
At least 5 years. Give it a rest. And they haven't stopped. As we mentioned earlier, they stopped making the films, but they've been cranking the shows out.
Yeah.
They have not stopped cranking the shows out. So it's really been nonstop. And they've ruined it. They've really kind of ruined it.
Priscilla Presley is going to be at
Really?
I didn't know she was still around.
A lot of these like celebrities, these QRSTUV listers are coming up out of their graves and out from under their rocks, and they'll sign anything.
Yeah, but you haven't heard from her
since Michael Jackson.
No, that the daughter was married to Michael Jackson. The daughter died. The daughter was married to Michael Jackson. Not Priscilla Presley is Elvis Presley's wife. She was in the Naked Gun movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's still alive. The daughter died more recently, like a couple of years, maybe 5 years ago, if that much. But yeah, I haven't heard from her since the Naked Guns, but I think she was in something after Naked Gun. But you don't hear from her at all. Waiting for TJ Hooker
Oh Lord.
No, not a reunion of TJ Hooker.
Hugo says they agree MCU was killed by flooding the market, not staying close to the original plots or stories, and bad casting. Yeah. They did too much. Yeah, I've heard they've got the licensing, but they haven't to my knowledge, they haven't actually jumped off on it yet.
Go to Walmart or Target and go to the toy. There are no kids at all.
Yeah, it's us.
Yeah. That's all you ever see. And if it is kids, little kids, they're not looking at the toys, it's the parents looking at the toys. The kids just sitting in the basket on the phone. Or sometime I'll see parents
I hate seeing a little child.
Buying kids, buying toys.
I hate seeing a child with a cell phone.
Marvels. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, because they've announced it, but they just haven't. I don't think they've molded anything yet.
I know they got DC because they did like the Batmans and Wonder Woman when they first.
Oh yeah, they've been doing DC for a minute.
Monsterverse movie, Gamera. Oh, a new stuff.
Daimajin and Marvel Shogun. Is Daimajin, is that the one with the statue? Bill Bixby Hulk,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, even the song, you know, that da 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 da, you know, the name of that song is The Lonely Man. Everything
Yeah.
about that show is depressing.
But I refuse to watch the show anymore. It's true. Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
David been saying that for the
Yeah, a
longest.
lot of people have that complaint. They say he's a real jerk when you meet him in person.
Really?
Yeah.
Just watched one Hulk episode. They had a few good ones. Hulk versus Hulk was kind of
That's
good
right.
to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad show. It's just, it's sad.
It's
a straight up drama.
Okay, Spectre toys.
Oh, it was Spectre? I can't remember. I just know it's Meagle like.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
seeing them because I wanted to buy it when I was watching the show, and then I saw that ridiculous price. Now that's one thing. If somebody was to redo it, I probably would buy it because the original is so expensive. But working on uploading my first video to the group,
to the Facebook group.
It sure takes it takes a while, but it'll get there. We'll see. Banner having amnesia. He had amnesia. They always do the amnesia.
Everybody does
episode.
the amnesia episode. That's like the most annoying cliche thing.
Michael Knight had it. Luke Duke had amnesia.
Michael Knight having the amnesia was funny though, because
toys for kids without the kids there being yeah, that one was ridiculous because he don't know nothing, but then he trusts Kit when Kit said jump off of this 50-foot building.
And he does.
Johnny. Oh, okay.
And doesn't know who Kit is. His watch tells him to jump off the roof. Okay. Well, it was a balcony, but still.
But the one we just saw, Kit does a jump into the hotel room.
Oh, that's right.
Like on the 4th floor. And then, the whole car goes through the window and is sitting in the middle of this hotel room.
Yeah.
And then Kid asks Michael, how are we going to get out of here? And then
in the next scene, they're driving down the road. You don't know how they got out.
And they don't say nothing. And it's like, how did you get him out of there?
Well, he is equipped with a parachute, so maybe he just kind of floated. And Hugo says, yes, the Giant Samurai Warrior Guard. There were 2 films, right? I think there was 2 films from that. That's a fun one. And the only copy of it on disc that I have seen, because I have it on disc, right in the middle of it, there's a 1-second blurb of a Japanese commercial or something out of nowhere that just kind of flashes on the screen with a woman and then disappears because it was edited really badly.
Cell phones have really stolen the imagination from kids. The effect on education has been worse.
Oh, I agree.
I think the imagination being stolen started with video games. I think the cell phone completed the transfer.
Well, also it's not being monitored. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing a video game, but there should be a limit, and you can't let the kids sit there and do it for 12 hours a day. There's something wrong with that. It can't be their whole life. You got to put limits on it and stick to it, and that's fine. But these kids, that's all they do.
Yeah,
that's all they do all day.
That's all they do. Now they got that hump in their neck and back, and they got eye disease.
Oh, I know. And then the gamer crease. If you've seen that, look up the gamer crease or gamer head. It's a groove that's forming from the headphones being on all day. It's weird.
Quantum Leap. I'm not sure because
I haven't seen that since it was on the air.
Yeah, I didn't care for it when it was out.
Really?
But we got a bunch, and it might be you could try Pluto, Freevee, Fawsome.
Yeah.
Tubi. Tubi usually has a lot of that stuff. Try Tubi. And I think those are the major Roku. The Roku app, you can get that on Amazon if you have Amazon.
The only thing that sucks about it is, of course, you got to deal with ads.
Yeah, you got to watch ads.
Which is why we prefer the discs when we can help it.
It's the first 2 parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hulk episodes. Yeah, but you just gotta search because what I do is just look through them and I'll see some. Oh yeah, I remember that. Or that one looks good, and I look for the because they'll have like nostalgia TV or something like that,
Yeah.
and then they'll show you all those old shows. Or if you just got the search, just put it in the search, and sometime I know on Amazon it'll search through all of the different apps, not well, most of them, not all. Some of them you kind of got to go to and look for yourself. Formula TV shows, especially
Yeah.
police shows and sitcoms, the same 30 top becoming druggies, losing their memories.
Etc. Etc. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
certain things that they always freaking do.
Okay,
Oh, Art
Grundy,
Grundy's got to go.
thank you for stopping by.
Oh, Hugo says it's actually a trilogy. I only remember two. It might be three. Yeah.
What?
I
Oh,
only remembered two of them because Hugo was saying that the Diamagin was three films in
okay.
1966. That one's nuts though.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. It's basically a big stone statue. It's like 20 feet tall, I think, and it's in this Japanese village, and the local warlord is tormenting the village, and the girl goes and prays, "Oh, please protect our village," and then the statue's arm comes up and it comes down over his face like this, and suddenly he's like this creature in the same outfit and
Oh,
gets up and fights the army, and so they're fighting like again a 20-foot tall statue, and he basically kills like 1,000 people, stomping on them and smashing them and all. So it's like, God, the movie's nuts.
um, I never saw Fright Night. I don't know if that has a thing, but what we saw today
Is that with the vampires? DC?
I don't know. We saw Beware of the Blob. It was the
Oh my
Blob
God.
2.
It
Where
was the sequel to the 50s Blob.
yeah, if you saw the 50s Blob,
Mm-hmm.
At the end they got it and they took it to Antarctica because it can't operate or whatever
In the cold.
in the cold. So that was that. So
with 48-year-old teenager Steve McQueen. But I digress.
Because he was 17 in the movie, but he was like 40 in real life.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, listen here, kid. And it's like, kid, he looks older than you, officer. But anyways.
But they had it was called Son of the Blob, Beware of the Blob.
Yeah.
They never told you how the sample got from Antarctica to wherever they were, and then it attacks everybody, and then they contain it again, but the flashlight was on it, so it melted, and then it starts all over.
Directed by Larry Hagman.
Yeah, the guy that plays JR
with a very, very rudimentary cameo. You almost miss him. And then Burgess Meredith had a cameo in it.
Yeah.
And then it's like a piece of this and a piece of that. It's like they had a bunch of ideas and didn't know how it would fit. And instead of fitting the pieces together, they just kind of took puzzle pieces and taped them and said, "This is good enough."
Yeah, until they got to the end. Then they brought it to. Then the ending made sense it was like one cohesive thought. But everything in the beginning was like pieces. Like he said, it was like, I got an idea. Let's put that. Another idea. So it was like a bunch of ideas that they tried to fit together because everybody knew each other.
It was terrible.
It was
terrible. It should have been on Riff Tracks.
It was very bad. Hey, Black Knight, how y'all doing?
Hey, Black Knight made
Make sure y'all check out Black Knight's videos. He's doing a lot of stuff, a lot of toy hunts. He's doing. He did like some baseball cards today. I think it was baseball cards.
I didn't see that.
It was some cards that he was doing today, but he does a lot of hunts, a lot of hunt videos. So if you're into hunting videos, check him out. Jason and the Argonauts. I've heard of that.
Ray Harryhausen.
Okay, I've never seen that.
Ray Harryhausen films. I've got his collection on DVD. Ray Harryhausen, great stuff. It was a stop motion.
Yeah.
He was like the king of stop motion photography. and he used to get commissioned for a lot of that kind of stuff. There's some great scenes in Jason and the Argonauts, especially with the skeletons, because you know the ones where he's sword fighting with the skeletons.
Yeah.
But he set up the whole fight scene with the skeletons and filmed it. And so he's got them all moving at once and imagined where Jason would be in the fight, and then had to direct Jason how to move so that he would fit in when they overlaid the skeletons later on. Now that's skill. You don't see that anymore. No, they just green screen the hell out of everything now.
Yeah, Robert, we saw a video about that. Well, everybody has been talking about it,
It's like
and then we looked it up. Me TV cartoon, and it's we saw a video and they were explaining it, and they're gonna have like a bunch of different cartoons from all of these different genres, and everything is going to be, I think, pre 2000, so nothing older than 2000.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be in time slots. It's just going to be kind of playing. But I'm still wondering, are you going to watch a whole, like, are they going to show every episode? Because, you know, like, if you watch on, like, Tubi or Pluto, because Pluto has a vintage cartoon channel, but then they show you about 10 cartoons, and then it's the same ones over and over and over and over again. So I'm wondering how they're going to do it. But it's over the air, so that kind of makes it good.
Because they let AI run that stuff, and it's all over the place. It's like with the Doctor Who channel, and they don't even complete chapters. Because, you know, like with Doctor Who, 4, 6, 8 episodes is one plot.
Oh.
And if you play the first 3 and then you jump to the next segment, then you never see the end of the show. It's annoying as hell. So I mean, yeah,
because I know they got like a Gunsmoke channel, they got like a Dark Shadows channel, and my dad was watching the Gunsmoke channel, and you'll watch some episodes and then it's going to start all over again, and it's like the same 20 episodes over and over and over again,
and it's got 20 years of episodes, with, like, you know, you're talking like around 30 episodes a season from back in the day.
So I don't know, it should be interesting, and it says that it's going to be, you know, like watching it when you were a kid. Well, I don't know what that means, but that's what it says. I want to get the McCloud on DVD. It's 7 seasons. I remember
McCloud. I remember that
that's
show.
on Pluto too, because my daddy was watching that when he was here.
And DC said, "Yeah, Roddy is a TV vampire hunter." Okay, I thought I kind of remember that.
Had a cool giant flaming golden hawk eagle.
Okay.
With him in the third movie.
In the third movie, he was a mean, ugly. It's all right.
Sorry.
Mean, ugly, evil-looking samurai who was really pissed off. Yeah, basically. But he was 20 feet tall and made out of stone.
I don't think you sent that. J.R. Ewing's boots and hat.
Did you?
In the museum.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he played that role. I think he loved being just the mean guy. Because when you watch him in not Bewitched, what was the show he was in? J.R. Larry Hagman.
Oh,
it wasn't Bewitched.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah, he was nothing like the J.R. character.
Well, that was comedy. He was a bumbling idiot.
But he got into J.R. I think he loved that. Loved it when Bill Cosby showed up and ate the blob.
Did he?
Did he?
No.
Oh.
I don't think so. William says, "What do you think of 3D printed stuff? I saw a lot at the flea market today. A lot of it felt super lightweight and cheap to me. I've heard a lot of bad things about it. One of the main complaints that I'm hearing is because, you know, a lot of people that are in the toy collecting, they want a 3D print. Hi is here.
Gorillas Videos.
Gorillas is a band.
Oh, okay.
What was I saying? 3D printed.
Yeah.
They want to replace missing pieces, missing parts. Godzilla is a big one, like the Shogun Godzilla back here. He's always missing the fist. Oh, we'll 3D print a fist. What I'm hearing a lot of complaints about is that after a few years,
Mhm.
that stuff's starting to fall apart. It's degrading and it's crumbling and falling apart. So no, it's not well constructed. And I don't know if that technology has improved over the years,
Mhm.
but looking at it up close, like when you go to a show and somebody has something 3D printed and you look at it, you can tell because you can see those fine lines from where it skimmed back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that stuff's going to hold up over the years.
I can see the appeal because, like, if you got one of them Godzillas
Mm-hmm.
and it's missing the fist is broken.
Yeah.
It's expensive to buy a fist, just a fist, and then it's more expensive to buy a whole new one. So it's cheaper to find somebody to just make me a fist. So I get that and I understand it. When you got, like, let's say that G.I. Joe figure back there, one of the guns broke off, but then you see people on eBay selling. They break the whole thing apart and sell it piece by piece by piece.
They do it on purpose.
Right, but then the gun is $50, but then this guy will make you a gun for $10.
Yeah, but then apparently they don't last either. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it got its up and downs, its pros and cons. It's all about what you're trying to do. But if you don't mess with it like all that, it ain't gonna
Noonan wants
break
to know
up.
what's the best shows we've been to.
I don't
I
know.
would say for scope and variety, probably the Kane County.
Oh
As
God,
far
we
as
ain't been there in
size,
so
yeah.
long. I done forgot about
Yeah,
that
but
thing.
you know, just because it's massive, and so there's a lot of variety there, and you see a lot of things you don't normally see. But for deals, actually, Retro Toy Swap is where we've been finding some of the best deals the last couple of years. Which is a local show.
Hank want to know when you're going to do another trivia night.
Oh, we haven't done one of those
We
in a while.
talked about doing one,
Yeah,
but then we never put the questions together and kind of forgot about it. The cable companies won't let you record those shows. Why not? They don't?
Yeah, they found a way.
I mean,
to
if
block
you got a VCR, you can't record. If you got a VCR, I didn't know that. I haven't recorded since the early 2000s. I was still recording shows.
Yeah, we know you know. We know what you were talking about because he was explaining about Bill Cosby Jello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fiddle chips, different kind of plastic can have a bad effect if on top of each other. Yeah, they can, and you see that with a lot of older figures, especially with like the Mark's Best of the West. You see melt marks on the horses and things like that because the plastic overlay didn't do well. You also saw that with Ideal's Captain Action, where guns left in holsters for too long would fuse together. You know, stuff like that.
Resin prints are night and day in quality. 3D printed parts are good for placeholders until you find the original.
Maybe. Here's a throwback for you. You want some nostalgia time? Nostalgia time. Who remembers this? This is an 80s version, and you can tell because of the triangle, because the 70s version would have a little circle ring instead of a triangular shaped ring. But who remembers this? And just like I was talking about earlier, modern incarnations of this with the lever or that are electronic don't work.
What do you mean don't work?
They break down. They break. This still functions. So yeah, but you remember this. You turn this to whatever letter you want, and this is a tool for helping little kids.
I thought you're supposed to pull a string and it spins.
Yes, you do, but you pick. Like I want you for umbrella, and then when you pull the string,
that's not. Oh, that ain't what I remember.
You can do it randomly, but you can pick also. Like right here, I'll put it on B. Boy, B, see?
I don't remember it being like that. I remember just pulling that string and spin around.
That's because you weren't paying attention. You didn't follow the instructions.
I didn't never know it had instructions.
If it's Mattel, it's swell.
Are you guys doing any more unboxings?
Are we?
Maybe when my Big Bad Toy Store stuff comes in, it'll be all brand new Super 7
Oh,
stuff. If y'all
crap.
want to see
Oh,
that,
no.
you can save a TV show to your cable TV account to watch it later. But after 60, 90 days, that's some garbage.
Yeah, Munin says they had one as a kid with a lever. That would be a 90s one, I think. They did away with the string because they didn't want kids to choke themselves.
How you gonna choke yourself on that
You
string?
hang yourself with it and put it, because you take the loop and you put it around your neck. And it's just a string. I don't know. You know how they make things too safe and then they're not fun anymore. Oh, Raynard wants us to do another Fading Nostalgia videos. We have a couple of ideas, actually. We were talking about that
just
recently.
wrote out a list of topics because we realized we haven't done any topics in a while. And, we try to come up with stuff.
Yeah.
You remember the See and Say?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar, See and Say.
Because they also have one of these with farm animals.
I remember the farm animals.
And it tells you the sound they make. The cow goes, moo.
I remember that. The See and Say sound familiar. That sounds like something we had, because we had all those little toys like that.
Those are classics. They don't do that stuff anymore.
They don't do nothing no more. I used to have one with a circular pull. That's because that's the older one.
That's the 71. The 70s one had a ring. This one's
black hole figure, maybe a video short. Yeah, you got the black hole
Miko,
right there.
I've got.
Oh, you can't see it. I don't think.
Well, up on the wall up there. That's the complete wave of the 12.5-inch figures up on the top there. Black hole. And they're in pretty decent condition. They're not all like zombied out. They're not gray. Because they turn gray. There's something wrong with the plastic. Cheap plastic, because it's Mego.
I always wanted a sit and spin.
I remember sit and spin.
That is the one toy I always wanted. I never got one. But I always wanted a sit and spin.
And I have a handful of the 3 3/4-inch figures. I don't have the whole set though.
Those Fading Nostalgia videos are great.
Yeah, these are the small ones. I like that movie. That's actually a really well done film.
Yeah.
It's an adaptation, of course, of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but in space.
Mattel was going to make one of those for Masters of the Universe. There's a drawing for it in one of the books. What, the sit and spin? Oh yeah, that's the boxed one.
Yeah, these are the 12.5, because they're a little bigger than 12-inch. 12.5-inch figures.
Hey Trevor.
And
any thoughts on Super 7 doing O-rings, G.I. Joes?
Yeah, I don't care. It's just like, yeah, they're trying to bring it back. I'd rather have the originals.
Just got the last 2 figures I needed to complete the Mezco Scary Tales line. What's Scary Tales? It's a neat little set. What's Scary Tales?
That sounds familiar.
David got upset with G.I. Joes after he couldn't get the classified. Now he is just all off of G.I. Joes. He don't want to hear about G.I. Joes.
Well, not the modern ones.
Not the modern ones.
But yeah, a raw or 60s or 70s G.I. Joes. And 60s, 70s, 80s G.I. Joes. Oh, sure.
No, Robert, I still don't have it. And I haven't heard anything about it, actually. So I don't know what happened. Well, those things. That's why I hate pre-ordering stuff. Because when you pre-ordered it, like, I think it was, it was 2023. But it seemed like it was 3 years ago. But I haven't heard anything. So I don't know. I'll know when they send me an email saying your figures are in and we're about to ship it. But
DC says those are great. Loved the movie, especially the creepy ending. And the first film with computer animation, which is only in the opening when they're showing you the grid at the very beginning, and it's very obviously that was not animated. That was computer. It's the first movie to use that.
Fiddle Chip said the modern toys are really getting on their nerves lately.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people getting frustrated.
The price, the pre-orders, and the pre-orders have this ridiculously long wait period. Like I just got an email from not Super 7, Big Bad Toy Store saying that my Super 7 figures are in. That seemed like I ordered it 2 years ago. It's just I don't know. I'm kind of done with all that. I got the super. Oh no.
Toxic
I wouldn't
Crusaders,
sleep on
and you wouldn't
those.
sleep on them.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
I know. I want those too, but
Mhm.
then I saw those other ones that are carded. Because the Super 7 ones I like. I like the way they look. I like the size of them. But another company, David showed it on the roundup, and theirs are carded. And I would
Oh,
rather have
yeah.
them
It's
carded. Not Beast Kingdom, is
Trick
it?
or Treat
Trick or
Studios.
Treat Studios. Theirs are carded.
Yeah.
And I would rather have the carded figure than the box figures. I don't know.
Gilgamesh says it twisted Alice in Wonderland and Little Red Riding Hood characters. Those are the only
Oh.
two stories that did figures before canceling the line.
Oh.
There's
Hey, T. Stewart.
Glad you could make it.
Oh, I'm late. Well, you're
As
still
well as
here.
Action Figure Joe's is here.
Junkyard is also one of my figures of the year. Can't believe Super 7 had a hit. Super 7 had a hit.
Super 7.
Hey, Action Figs.
Action Joe Figs. Because you know why?
No.
Because 60s and 70s G.I. Joes are awesome.
SH Figure Arts predominantly.
And they still hold up. And you can still use them today, and they don't fall apart when you do reviews of them. When you pull them out of the box and they break immediately. And Raymond
CNC, I gotta look up CNC
says
now you got me curious. I remember the name, but I don't remember what it is. CNC.
CNC.
Yeah.
You'll have to look at it.
I know.
When you see it, you'll know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the one we had growing up.
Mm-hmm.
The CNC. They sell it on Amazon. That's what it's saying. Well, ain't no CNC right there. I don't know what that is.
That's
$22.
too expensive, is what that is. But
yeah, you pull that string and then it spins
yeah,
around and say all kinds of weird things.
Yeah, classic toy like Viewmaster. There's something else that's gone away. No one cares about.
Oh yeah, the Viewmaster.
Viewmasters is gone. Viewmasters is faded away. I don't think they even make that anymore, do they? Unless I know that they have the nostalgic toy section in like Target where they make old stuff like that. They remake old stuff like that, like reissue of Rock'em Sock'em Robots and reissue of like the Fisher-Price musical clock and stuff like that. But kids aren't playing with Viewmaster anymore.
The Rocky Balboa Lone Shark Collector Ultimate Edition. What is that? From the movie?
That 6 scale figure?
From the movie? He was a loan shark?
Well, he was working for one in the beginning, but he didn't like doing it because he didn't want to beat people up.
But so he became a boxer.
Yes. Well, he was a boxer, just not a
good
local.
one.
Nobody cared about him.
Your video is halfway loaded.
We're getting there.
I had to follow y'all on Terry's show this week. I did my
best. That's okay.
Yeah, we were on My Toy Life.
Yes.
With Terry. That's a good channel. He does interviews with people and you talk about stuff like what we're talking about now. Pretty good. I have Captain Action that still stands out. Yeah.
And that's a 60s figure.
Yeah.
In 2008's joints are going. Yeah, and Amigo, the new Amigo, a lot of complaints about them breaking right out of the package.
Joints, bright plastic cloth, no tears. Unbelievable that this cheap toy is better than the. Yeah, I know.
And you can still buy it for cheap because except for the Munchkins, the Wizard of Oz figures for Amigo, they're not that popular.
1/6 scale Rocky.
Yep. And he says Stallone is selling a lot of his private collection nowadays.
Really?
Yeah, and he's doing the reality show. He's doing whatever. I don't know what he's up to.
Yeah, I think his wife and kids got him doing that reality show, trying to look like the Kardashians and stuff. I don't like that. I don't like when the celebrities like that, they get hoodwinked into doing those reality shows like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. It just seems like a desperate move almost to me.
I can't imagine Stallone needing money with his hooks and all those franchises.
Yeah, I think
I don't know
that's the
why he's doing
family
that.
wanting recognition because who knows his wife? Who knows his kids? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think that's their opportunity to be seen
Yeah.
because everybody knew who Sylvester Stallone is, but you don't know his wife and his kids.
No, and who cares?
Yeah.
William says he has the Spider-Man Captain Action that he bought at Toys R Us like 10 years ago. The one from Playing Mantis. The Playing Mantis reissued those. I
Billy
think it was a little
Blasto.
longer than 10 years though. Yeah, Billy
Did
Blastoff.
you see David show his Billy Blastoff last week?
Yeah, I explained about Billy Blastoff last week from Eldon Toys.
Yeah.
You know, there's also a Billy Diver and a Billy Cowboy. Those are tough to find. But Billy Blastoff is cool. See if you can find him in working condition, because you know the mechanism drives all the vehicles. It's a pretty neat toy.
I have that one, the NECA
Hmm.
Halloween 3 when it came out. I
The trick
really
or
like that.
treaters, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one. I just saw
Oh, I
Arnold
know.
Schwarzenegger doing yeah.
State Farm, Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger. These guys.
Yeah.
You know what he drives me nuts is when he goes to the Arnold Classics, because he's like because we watch the strongman
Yeah.
competitions, right? We watch the strongman competitions, and then he's there, and he has he'll have the phone like in his face, doing his thing to like TikTok or wherever the hell he is, X, and the strongmen are behind him, and you can see the guy, he's like this big in the background behind his ear, and he's like, yeah, it's all about these guys, look at these guys back here, they're amazing. And it's like, I can't see them, Arnold, I see your face. Why don't you just let us watch the show? I don't know about that guy.
I don't know.
Oh, Playing Mantis around too, yeah, okay, because I know they brought him back in like the 90s. And for those of you who were wondering what we were talking about just then, if you didn't see it last week, and I'll grab a couple of these real quick.
David is grabbing his Billy
Yeah, the Billy
Blastoffs.
Blastoff, and this is all it is. It looks like a fat little kid version of
Let me move this.
a fat little kid version of like Major Matt Mason, except that Major Matt Mason was a bendy, and he's got that big backpack and two AA batteries going there, and that's Billy's little robot. His little robot friend has the same function.
Looking like Rosie.
Yeah. And then he has these vehicles, and these are slots for the backpack. And then there's a spindle right there. And so when you plug him in, he plugs in. And when you turn it on, he don't have batteries in him, but when you turn him on, then the wheels will turn and he can drive. And a lot of the vehicles resemble Major Matt Mason stuff. It's just a really neat set. It's an imaginative concept.
I wish they would reissue the entire 1984 and 1985 DC Comics Superpowers complete line. I don't collect toys, but I might get that whole line. Isn't that what McFarlane was doing?
Yeah, he's doing superpowers, but he's
Yeah.
doing like a lot of the ones that he's doing are modern figures to look like superpowers from the original. Like he's continuing the line, but not so much reissuing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And there
Okay,
you
they're
are.
talking to each
Yeah,
other.
talking to each other.
Stallone kids have no talent, so they have to leech off of him. Yeah,
Riding the coattails.
and I really believe that's the whole point of that
Mhm.
reality show. Because if you see the commercial for it is the kids and the wife, and they're all up in the front, and Stallone is like there, and then the trailer is about the kids and the wife and all of that, and it's like, why do you need to do that? You got all of these shows. He had that he has all of the movies. He has that other show that that exercise show that he did, The Beast.
Oh yeah. No, no. That was a
What you
that was a
call?
parkour.
No, not parkour. It's called what's that kind of exercise called though? Where you go through the different obstacle course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he had the
yeah.
obstacle course that show that he was doing.
But just to emphasize, there's the space crawler from Billy Blastoff, and then of course there's the space crawler from Matt Mason, and it's the same exact concept. So that a lot of the vehicles look similar.
I have the superpower vehicles. That's all I wanted from that line. I wanted I got the Dead Man, and then they did a couple of other figures. I can't remember who they are now, but you had to buy them online, so I never bought them. Apparently, there's another company that's going to re-release Captain Action. Okay. A new version along with the original one. Okay.
Not again.
Reality TV is just awful. It
Yeah.
is.
It's fake. It's not
been-
even real.
Yeah, it's been awful since the day it came
Oh,
out. It's
display
all
name.
hey display name. It's all scripted. It's not, genuine. And whose life is that drama filled? Where every second of your life something's going on.
Yeah.
Nobody life is that drama filled. Action Figure had the space
Had
crawler.
the space crawler.
Thank you again, Stone Sour,
made a donation to
for
the
Hulk
channel.
smashing that to make his daughter a singer.
I don't remember. Okay, well, he had the reality show too,
Yeah, he did.
actually. And DC said G.I. Joe was too expensive. They got Action Jackson instead. Okay. Yeah. So Mego Action Jackson. Mego Action Jackson,
Oh yeah.
which actually Hasbro G.I. Joe ended up copying, because that's where you get Super
Mhm.
Joe from, the 8-inch G.I. Joes, out of the popularity of that, but it didn't work out for them.
That's the name of the show.
Oh yeah, Hogan Knows Best. I don't remember.
But I mean, those reality shows, it's like nothing goes on in anybody's life. I don't care
I
who
hope
you
not.
are.
I hope
That
not.
much. Like every day is dramatic.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's
Yeah.
like nothing
It's
goes
fake.
on. Even these celebrities, I mean, they make stuff happen, but just a normal day, nothing goes on. I wouldn't want nothing to go on in my life like that all day. You'd be crazy. That's why they always on drugs and can't sleep, and they always have to take all kind of medication, and they have mental problems because their life is so drama filled. Praying Mantis did
Yeah.
that.
In
Okay.
the 90s, that's right. The Captain Action already. They don't need to keep doing it again. Oh, the 60s Johnny
Yes,
Quest.
we
That's
watched
a
the
good
Johnny
show.
Quest, the cartoon. That's on Tubi. It's really good. And then we also watched the 80s version.
The 80s one was
Oh, the
bad.
90s.
80s.
Okay. Yeah,
Saturday
it wasn't good.
80s Saturday morning version was not good.
It was not good. But the original one
Was well done.
Yeah,
It was done.
well done. It was well acted. The storylines were good. And the one thing I noticed about TV shows, I mean cartoons, the older ones, okay, you got that 22 minute. It
Mhm.
seemed like a lot of stuff happened in that 22 minutes. But now you watch shows, cartoons, and they got that same 22 minutes and it seems rushed.
Yeah, they blow through it.
Yeah. And then the same with movies, because we watched a movie, I can't remember the name, but the movie was an hour and 5 minutes. And it was a lot of stuff that happened, but it didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel like it was dragging. But then you watch other movies, modern movies, that's an hour and
That
a
was
half.
that film from the 40s.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
the guy who the guy committed suicide and he took the money. The guy who likes to watch trains go by. That's the name of the movie. The guy who likes to watch trains go by. It was only like
The Man. Yeah.
who likes to watch trains go by.
Yeah.
And the movie was like only an hour and 10 minutes, but a lot of stuff happened.
They developed the character.
Yeah.
So you understood what was going on.
And everything happened and it didn't feel rushed. But you watch a modern movie, an hour and a half, and it feel like it's rushed. It's like, what happened? Well, hi, slow down a little bit. Duck Dynasty is funny, but you know
Yes,
that scripted
they
too.
all are. They're
I
all
never
faked.
watched Duck Dynasty. Do you collect Brave Star 3D comic book?
Reston says, "You talking about
Mm-mm,
from Blackthorn Publishing? I don't
mm-mm.
think I have any of the Blackthorn Publishing Bravestar. Yeah, Shazam and ISIS. I used to watch that. CBS had that Saturday mornings live action. Reality shows is
Yeah.
cancellation. Yeah, well, it's not going away because it's cheap because they don't have to write it. But the way the reality show format works is they just develop the plot. They say, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, and you do this, and they make it up as they go. There's nothing really written out for them, so it saves them on writing. And
Thanks to reality shows, my 20-year-old son wants to be a trophy husband.
Real Housewives.
Oh my God. But now we got these modern kids. I call them these new people, these new kids. They think that they're gonna get rich and famous by reality shows and TikTok
TikTok, or
videos and YouTube
I'm gonna
videos and
be a
stuff.
rapper.
Love the
Yeah,
dramatic music reality TV plays when someone gets this.
yeah. Shows is stupid.
Even on how not house hunters, hoarders is because when hoarders first came on,
Hmm.
they used to just go to the people house and you just look at all of the junk, and then they would go through and film all the junk, and you'd be like, oh God, how can people live like that? Now they got to make it worse. They got to put all this music. We only have 4 more hours. We got to get this whole house cleaned in 4 hours. And it's like,
And by the way, that show is a complete failure. You know, in all the years that Hoarders has been on, they have not ever actually helped anyone. Because I'm serious. Because the first of all, the people don't actually want help on the shows.
mm-hmm,
That's part of the problem because they are real hoarders. That part of it's real.
yeah.
They don't want help. They're being forced to get help because either Child Protective Services or elder care or the county is going to take their property. Somebody's forcing them to get help. So everything ends up being packed in boxes and given right back to them. Very little actually gets thrown away. And if you've ever seen where they go back, because there's a lot of investigation into it, no one who they've ever gone back to has maintained it. It's right back where it was or worse when they even a year later. So they've
Hmm.
never actually helped anyone on that show. It's really kind of pathetic.
I like watching horror
It's
stuff.
scary.
God, it just make you just want to go
And
clean up.
I do remember somebody asked, I think it was Johnny. Oh, that's down there. The
But
Battle of the Network
oh
Stars that
yeah,
they
the
used to
Battle of the
do.
Stars. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Battle of the Network Stars. When there was only 3 networks instead of 300.
Oh yeah. But these people become celebrities
Yeah,
though,
some
just
do.
by being on those shows, and then they
Yeah,
go from show to show to show to show as a reality star.
yeah.
Being on all of these different
If that
shows.
even, how does that even count? And like I said, there's no A and B listers anymore.
Yeah.
C, D, E, F, G, and on.
Yeah, you don't need talent to
No.
be
And we were
famous
thinking
anymore.
about that this week too, because we saw a movie with
Intervention?
a movie with Mickey Rooney in it, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
Mickey Rooney. When you think about it, because I've seen him do stuff that's unbelievable. I saw him play a banjo blazing fast in a movie once.
Oh
He
yeah.
could play instruments and dance and sing, and he could do dramatic acting and comedy and all kinds of stuff. You had to be very versatile back in the days to be considered. You had to look at the Marx Brothers. You think those guys were just funny? Look at all the instruments they could play and all the acrobatics they could do. You had to hustle. Um, Nowadays, you don't even have to be good. If you could remember your lines, it's enough. And we were just talking about that because they had The Last of Us and that super bland girl in The Last of Us that
Oh yeah.
everybody hated her acting because of how bland and just terrible she
That's what
is.
they told her to look like.
That's how she is anyways. They hired her based on that. If you can remember your lines, you're an actor. I am an actor. I just read all my lines like this, and I just remember my lines, and there's no emoting at all.
Mm.
So yeah, a lot has changed. A
I
lot has
remember
changed.
Cheaters. I used to I used to like watching Cheaters.
What is wrong with you?
Cops was real. Now you watch
Yeah.
Cops.
Yeah.
That was real.
Mhm.
And Rescue 911. If you remember Rescue 911 when that came out in the 80s. You don't remember that?
I remember. I don't think I watched it.
I used to watch it because we didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But we used to Rescue 911. Over by Chance is the best reaction.
Where's my money?
I want my
Why
check.
aren't I getting big fat checks? I want to break necks and cash checks. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But while we're on the subject, actually, we should probably.
Yeah. Even
ahead.
Musically with auto tune.
Yeah, they can't sing either anymore.
No.
We should probably go ahead and start wrapping up. We probably got to get something to eat. Get dinner going. Check on the felines. Check on our poor babies.
Yeah, I love Unsolved Mysteries. We went back recently and watched every episode. When I was a kid, I loved that show. But it seemed like when I was a kid, it felt like it was more aliens and ghosts. But when we went back and watched it, about 2-3 years ago, it seemed like it was more police detective.
That's
and
how
missing
it started,
people.
and it got weird. The same thing happened to Jesse Ventura's show, his conspiracy theory show.
Yeah.
Started off doing stuff like the Kennedy assassination and ended up with the Chupacabra. That's why he gave up on the show. He didn't want to do that crap anymore.
But I love Unsolved Mystery. I used to watch.
I remember In Search of.
Oh yeah.
Leonard Nimoy.
I never saw that. Yeah, Ripley's Believe It or Not.
But again, we do have to go ahead and start wrapping things up. Sorry about the flub earlier.
Oh yeah,
we don't know what happened.
But thank you all for coming back and sticking in with us. Check it out. Okay, part 2 and 3 tomorrow. We'll watch that.
And then and again, you can find us on Nostalgic Pod Blast tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
and so we'll be joining him and keeping him company for a little while.
And we'll be looking at books because he got 17 long boxes
of
comics, and he goes through 1 box a week. So we're gonna go through that with him.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's
tomorrow.
In it.
Yep.
He was bought sight unseen.
So we're gonna